We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can sleep with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Welcome back, everybody. We've been gone for a couple of weeks, it seems. Well, wait. No, we've only been gone 1 week. Al's been gone like a month and a half, right?
It feels like
something
it, yeah.
like that, yeah. So,
Same.
So we've got name tags this week so that people, well, Al doesn't have his on because he didn't know if he would recognize.
I offered to put it on earlier, and I was
Well,
told it was too
well,
early.
it's now. You can do it now.
It's too late.
I put mine on immediately.
Put it up over your. Now,
That was the Al Carlson. I can't see it.
Ah, I see that. Okay.
There you go. Up there. There you go. Careful,
Ooh,
you,
it's tricky in a mirror.
careful your chest hair, though. We don't want to rip off any chest hair, Al. We're probably fine with that, actually, to be honest.
Who knows?
Oh, my
It's
gosh. Well,
fine.
guess what, kids? We are here in the studio. Marnie Ryer. We have to wish them a happy anniversary. Marnie is out with Ernie, as we call her, Erin. It's similar to this show. It's 8 years for them, and they're out celebrating whatever the hell
gosh.
they do on
It's like a Lebanese
what do you do on an
eternity.
anniversary like that? I don't know what you do on an anniversary anymore.
Should we
You
look
go,
at-
you
is-
go to the Olive Garden and then you
Oh.
go home and go to bed.
Look at the U-Haul. Remember the good
Oh,
times.
maybe
Yeah.
go buy new
Snow tires,
no,
maybe.
No, what's the shoe? What's the
Birkenstocks.
Stocks, yeah.
buy new Birkenstocks?
Smart pair of sandals.
Yeah.
I did love those Birkenstocks, though. My gosh,
Of course you
they
did.
were super
You
comfortable.
were almost legally bound to.
It's true.
Yeah, for a while it was a
It's
requirement.
part of the startup kit.
Exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, and I came out at a time that those were like standard issue.
I remember I wore Doc Marten boots for the longest time.
I'm wearing Doc Marten shoes right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they comfy?
Oh, they're so comfy.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that was important. Don't know why.
I don't know. You mentioned Doc Martens. They're actually my favorite shoes right now. I wear them all the time.
I want to explore the Skechers.
I'm
I
wearing.
saw some like nice Skechers.
I'm wearing
recently.
Skechers now. They had the pillow, the pillow top. Stupid me. The memory foam insole in them.
No,
But I found out that that's really because there's absolutely no support in a memory foam.
there's sure
insole.
not, and that shit smashes down like crazy.
Right. So I had to put little arch inserts in there. So but I do want to research them. I see Howie Long does commercials for the Skechers wide, comfortable slip-on because the slip-on shoe is really important at a certain age.
Oh, I have a pair of those. They're
Do
actually
ya?
really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, even at your tender age, I see.
Listen, pal, I've got the feet of a 67-year-old who's been waiting tables their whole life. So
Wow.
I know. It's
So
fantastic.
your feet are
feet are
eligible for
fucking
AARP,
crazy
but the
old.
rest of you is not.
Yeah, I've tried every shoe gimmick there is in the world. I've tried the liquid like foot massaging insoles where they were like some sort of like water inside
right.
inside the thing that
Yeah.
would like swish back and
Yeah,
forth and
no.
was supposed to be massaging the bottom of my feet. I've tried the god awful like knobs that are supposed to be massaging the bottom
Yeah,
of your feet.
those just hurt.
Those are awful. I've tried high arches, I've tried low arches, I've tried memory foam, I've tried Dr. Scholl's, I've tried gel, I've tried all of it. You know what actually helped my feet feel better?
Getting off of them.
Doc Martens.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I started wearing them as work shoes.
Is there anything to the name Dr. Martin? Doc Martin? Is it really is he
don't
a
remember.
foot doctor?
I feel like I should know that, but I don't.
I would think you would know that 'cause you know everything.
It's
Seemingly you do.
Because I sit in front of the internet all the time.
Yeah,
so
but I
it's
bet you
really-
can. Oh, speaking of sitting in front of the internet today, I have to tell you a little funny story about Al sleeping. Today, I was sitting at my desk, minding my own business, doing show prep for tonight, which I'm sure you'll really realize later when we get into the headline section. And Kat Carlson, I was at home doing whatever she was doing in front of
Yeah,
her computer.
sitting in front
and
of my computer.
all of a sudden, I get an alert. There's a video phone call inbound. And I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Well, I answered it, is what I did.
I've decided I'm just answering all video
And
calls.
because why not?
Because why not?
Oh,
what are you
especially when
doing?
it's just a hot fucking mess waiting to happen.
So all of a sudden, Kat pops up on my screen, and Al and me, and I'm like,
But not
what?
Al. Al from a great distance looking at the phone like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
playing
Well, it
over
was your
there?
ceiling.
Apparently the phone was on your floor because you were quite a ways
It
above
was
it.
like we got a ceiling shot for the longest time. I'm like, well, the ceiling fan's not on, and then all of a sudden you picked up the phone, and what did you say? You rolled over and woke up or whatever.
Yeah, I must have rolled over and set my phone down, and then I looked because I heard voices, so I walked around because I thought, did I fall asleep that hard? I was really confused,
Oh,
very very confused.
I
No,
see.
you had just called us
Yeah,
yeah, well, that
in a
was
video
funny.
kind of a way, which is very
and
fun.
people were talking, and I was
I
like,
enjoyed it.
It was a nice little production meeting.
yeah, but
ever
hey,
so
we got
brief.
it done.
Yeah, we did 35 seconds of mayhem. to
Doesn't
get-
matter.
to get to 3 hours.
I know. I felt really bad that I had nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I know. I could have at least spontaneously come up with a conversation, but no.
No.
I know. I was too
That was-
engrossed in what I was doing at my desk. I was like, well, it's nice that you're here, but I got to work on.
Yeah.
I got to work on the thing.
I'm like, oh, I'm still trying to get this
Very
nap
busy.
in.
Yeah, but it was funny. That was an enjoyable piece of thing. And Doug, Doug may be on his way. I'm not really sure. He hasn't responded back to the text. I realize he has a life. We can't rely on him for everything. But should he show up, we have a name tag for him too.
That's good.
Remember the old Dame Edna talk show when she used to have people come out and every time they came out, Madge would come out and slap a name tag on everybody.
No, I don't remember that. That sounds
Vaguely,
lovely.
yes.
Yes. Jenny, you're on it. She's eating guacamole, but she just noticed the name tags. Thank you, Jenny, for being on top of.
Thank you,
Well, we weren't
Guacamole
sure
Jenny.
I wasn't sure I would remember who everybody was.
We've been gone a while.
I had questions. Then I found out Marina's not here, so I'm like, well,
Can't see my.
that's the one. That's the one I wasn't going to remember.
Oh my gosh! It turns out Doc Martin was a doctor.
Was he?
Klaus Martens.
Was he a
his name.
podiatrist?
Well, he was a doctor in the German army during World War II.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's on the wrong. Now I'm wearing Nazi shoes.
Now,
But are they warm?
While on leave in 1945, he injured his ankle while skiing in the Bavarian Alps, like you do.
like you do.
He
Happens.
found that his standard issue army boots were just too uncomfortable on his injured foot.
Okay.
While recuperating, he designed improvements to the boots with soft leather and air-padded soles made of tires. When the war ended and some Germans recovered valuables from their own cities, Klaus Martin took leather from a cobbler's shop. He basically
Stole leather from.
pillaged
Right.
a cobbler's shop. With that leather, he made himself a pair of boots with air-cushioned soles. Doc Martens were born. Lesbians, 100 years
Everywhere.
later, super
Mine.
grateful.
Not quite 100.
Whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
You don't know how the lesbians of the future are going to feel.
I don't.
Oh, that's right, because they'll be able to listen to this in the
50
future.
years later, yes, 50 is a better number.
Yeah.
Because in the 90s,
Some
they
poor
really
fucker 50 years
got
from now.
nuts.
Wow, these people were bored.
Wow.
Oh. Should have been here a few
Wow.
weeks ago and it was just Cat and I for an hour.
So these shoes, the origin of these shoes are Nazis pillaging poor cobbler
Why does it
shops.
always go back to the fucking Germans?
Because they're pretty everywhere.
They know how to make
Fucking
cars.
No?
I mean, they did a valiant attempt on the war and the world takeover thing, but they failed at that.
Well, I
They know
mean,
how to
but
make-
they gave it the best
They
shot
know how to make
that I've
heaters
seen in
and
a long
furnaces
time.
pretty
Right.
good. What else do they got?
Doug Wilkie hasn't even checked his
They
messages.
got the boots. They got the. Well, he's in class, honey. He's not out of
That's-
class for another like half hour.
He'll get to us.
He's very
at some
busy.
point.
Oh, is that how that works?
No. So we covered.
He usually shows up here a little before 8.
with food. That's right. Oh, by the way, speaking of food, I forgot that the gummy bears were in here.
The Gummy Bears.
And one day last week, I was going through the house and I didn't want to go to the store, but then I ran in here to do something else because I was looking for a snack. But then I'm like, oh, I gotta go in the studio do something, so I did, and I saw those. Yeah, a handful of those left that bag the other day. So thank you for leaving food always in the house.
You're
I forget
welcome.
that it's in here.
Look at the good work that we
Yeah,
do
'cause,
by
those
just
are
being
healthy.
too lazy to take our snacks home.
That's healthy. Just eat a handful of gummy bears at random.
One of my memories was today that was that I had a cup of coffee and 600 of ibuprofen for dinner,
Well,
and it was described as sensible.
by who?
Time magazine.
You? Oh,
Yeah.
you dubbed it sensible.
Well, of
I
course
thought.
I did.
Well, I didn't know if maybe you had
Sensible dinner.
somebody commented on your memory. Maybe they thought that was sensible.
Let me see if I have that right. The only thing I really like about Facebook anymore is like the memories.
Memories?
It's like a diary. I'm completely
sure.
satisfied with coffee and 600 of Advil for dinner.
Speaking of
Check the
using,
food pyramid again. I'm sure this could be best described as sensible.
Well,
So
remember
I did refer to a food pyramid.
I remember we did figure out the food pyramid in here one day, didn't we? All it was all fucked up and backwards, or somebody did.
Oh yeah,
We
because
did a whole story on
because
it.
it was like how much bread. It was clearly
like,
done by
there's
the
a-
wheat farmers
there's
in
a
America.
there's a food pyramid from about the 90s that suggested that you eat something like 8 servings of starches.
Right, like just a loaf of bread.
Right, a loaf of bread and 18 baked potatoes.
Sure, yeah.
Made for a
Then a shake
well-rounded
for
meal,
lunch.
right?
The
Then a shake
hell-
for lunch and a sensible dinner
dinner rolls for dinner.
of espresso and
Coke for
ibuprofen.
dinner. The white
and
kind.
then just run it off. when you get back from that Coke binge, you're gonna have burned off a lot
Get a
of
whole
carbs.
new day.
Well, now all of a sudden my news story seems quite topical.
Oh,
good.
Good. Well, that's nice. Good to have
that
topic.
eventual segue would be very exciting.
Yeah, sure, for all of us. Exactly.
Can't wait.
Shame the rest of
Edge
it's
of my
gonna
seat.
suck.
Well, for those of you that weren't sure why we were off last week, I'll recap for you. It was the post Phoenix Pride recuperation week for some of us. Some of us just were getting back into town from a extended vacation in a beautiful land of an island. But Kat and I suffered through most of what Phoenix Pride had to offer.
Is that parade still going
Still
on?
going. We left it. We're like, fuck it. We're out of here.
Longtime listeners will know that I am not fit to be around other humans for at least 3 days after
there was
Phoenix
a pause
Pride.
there. I wasn't sure where you're going
And I'm
with
not
that.
fit.
Okay, yeah.
Period.
Wait for it. And we have a winner.
I was chewing my gummy bear. Shut up.
While claiming I wasn't fit during a delicious snack of Gummy Baron.
Gummy bear. Others are not
I
sugar-free.
feel like in honor of the Germans, we have to acknowledge their contribution to our meal.
The gummy bear.
They're
Gummy Baron.
bears.
I love it.
Yes. So anyway, you made it through.
I survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets harder every year. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to start interviewing now for next year's boyfriend.
Oh.
Yep. Just going to be straight for 2 weeks.
Okay.
No more pride for me.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm
Right?
out.
I'm sorry, I can't come.
Cannot.
I'm apparently a straight white female right now. Mm-hmm. Can't come to your gay celebration anymore.
They'll try to sell you on that whole ally thing.
I don't. No, I'm nobody's ally. I'm against all of you.
Exactly.
What are you? I'm anti that.
Oh my
You
heavens.
over there. What are you? Anti that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Wherever it is. Oh, there's
What
Mike.
color is that flag?
Mike.
I'm anti that.
Yeah.
Mike's in the chat room. I think Mike's
Mike.
in New York City. I believe he was.
New York City.
He sent
my
me a.
God.
He sent me a picture of a box of little tiny plastic hands, and that said that they were Trump hands, actual size. He said,
Well, I'm glad that had a punchline because otherwise I was going to be really concerned and was going to ask you offline how we block him
well, why? Just because of
because he
hands?
sent you a picture of tiny hands. I don't know.
in a box.
Right.
Oh, even
Right.
better.
worse.
Even
What's,
better.
what's in the box?
Hey, just remembered
Tiny
hands.
tiny hands.
Nothing
Not
says
okay.
Easter like tiny hands in a box. That's
Nothing
what
at all. I'm gonna send myself the picture and I'm gonna post it. I'll show it to you, and you can see the tiny hands.
That's going to be wonderful. I can't wait.
Is it-
Again, edge of my seat.
Edge.
Yeah.
By the way,
just
I
about
like
font.
that. I like that at like a few minutes after the top of the hour, my cousin Mike sent me a text message that reads, "Hey, what the hell? Top of the hour, let's go." He's an avid listener when he's bored on
Well,
a trip.
I have to tell you, somebody's got to keep us on time because
We're not doing it ourselves. That's for
exactly.
damn sure.
Why start now? By the
we
way,
started at a leisurely 7:40.
yes, yes. Next, I think this really is the end of. This is our anniversary for the show because we missed last week and
Mazel
this or
tov.
whatever. But next week is when we're going to celebrate it. And what that means is we're just going to be in studio, the four of us. If Marnie shows up, who knows? I think she'll be here next week. Four of us, and we'll have champagne, and we'll just do a regular show. No surprises. Nobody shows up. Nothing big. That's it, right?
Perfect.
Got it. Okay.
I like that.
I'll refrigerate more champagne for
Oh,
my
God,
counter.
that'd be great. Well, actually, I just get a whole another fridge. We'll just fill it with
Yeah.
champagne. How about that?
I brought champagne for tonight because I wasn't sure. 'Cause didn't we start this nonsense on April 12th?
April 12th. Yes, we did.
My gosh.
Yep.
Very busy.
Here it is, the 16th of April,
The
2019.
day after Patriots Day.
8 goddamn years. Can you imagine?
a long
7.
fucking
Who
time.
thought?
7.
I can't do math. Yeah, 7 years. Well, we're starting our 8th year. That's what I mean.
Starting our 8th
Yeah,
I
year.
thought
starting
World
it.
War II was 100 years ago. It's
Yeah,
fine.
well, I'm sorry. He thinks
It's fine.
He thinks
And now,
4 miles
the
is a
math
block
show.
and a half. Right. Let's just walk there, Al. That's
Yeah.
really close.
On my resume, you know it's not there. Mathematician.
Yeah, no. And the walking thing is just me lying.
That's 100% just lies.
That's 100%. I know exactly where everything is. I just lie because I want to walk.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know your story. I thought you were just really dumb with distance.
Oh, no, I always want to walk.
Well, I don't know. There's
So
that.
what's your excuse in driving?
I think I just
Force
wanted you
of
to drive
habit?
me. Yeah.
It's just one more block
It's
down the
just one
road.
more
78 blocks later.
one block
I
more.
do use the expression it's at the end of the street,
Mm.
even though you turn like 4 or 5 times. It's at the end of some street.
Fair.
Yeah.
The street where you live.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a lovely.
I'm trying to just anything to get songs into this. Oh,
I like
here's
it when
the-
we sing. I like it when we do accents.
Like, oh
I'm not shy about it.
no, we enjoy Dialect Day on the old radio show.
All right, I think I'm finally prepared. Can we start?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Did you get
Oh,
all
I
your
didn't realize we were
Did-
waiting
did
on you.
you play the theme song yet?
Are we here? Hello. Is this on?
Did we play
Oh,
the
yeah.
theme song?
We are one day past tax day too.
Yeah,
so
we are.
It's true.
The rest of the country got their rude awakening too.
They
To what the
did.
tax bill didn't do for them?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, very. I haven't seen anybody. I don't know anybody with enough money to be happy by the tax cut. So
I don't know that anybody's happy with it. Well, I take that back. Some of them, but I've seen a few people that were like,
Yeah. Me and the head of
not-
ExxonMobil aren't friends anymore.
Sad. That was a sad day.
"You and the ExxonMobil." Where in the hell did that stupid picture go? Well, Kat, what you been up to?
Well, I survived the debacle that is Pride. It happened. I'm alive.
Any good protests at
I
the
didn't
parade
Okay,
No?
so I didn't go to the parade, but get this. First of all, people can't wait to leave Pride and tell other people about it.
Yes.
Because, whatever challenges the festival has or doesn't have, I wasn't in Cobalt 10 minutes on Saturday night before 10 people were like, "Girl, did you hear what happened?" Like, oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good news travels fast. So then,
Telegraph, telephone, telequeer.
right. Either way, you're getting that information quick.
Wait, yeah, pronto.
So then on Sunday, we had our extension party. And so we fenced off the parking lot. And there was a stage and there were vendors. It was basically mini Pride, which I have comments on for
I
later.
loved her on Hee Haw.
With your
Mini Pride, yeah.
Mini Pride was great.
Right, the Cat Carlson Memorial VIP Lounge rides again. Right. There were no T-shirts this year because
Budgetary
Right,
concerns.
Right, too lazy. Honestly,
Or
there's no
that.
budgetary concern. I decided I wasn't doing any.
Oh.
Right. So there I am, standing in the middle of the parking lot behind my Cat Carlson Memorial VIP Lounge, which was an excellent choice for me, because that's where I love to be. And I'm amongst all the vendors that they've set up and whatever. And I met a man who claims to have made the original I Dream of Jeannie bottle.
Oh, he's lived here forever.
He's magnificent. I only met him recently. And he was sitting at the bar a couple of weeks ago, just passing cards out, and I was kind of cracking up. And
Still trying to sell the bottle or what?
oh, sure, yeah, he's got lots of them.
Yeah, he keeps making them, and he occasionally gets Barbara Eden to autograph them, and then he sells them for even more.
Oh, wow.
It's lovely. So he was there, and he gifted me one, a very small one with some wind chimes under it.
Oh.
Very excited. I tried to wear it as a necklace, but then I got distracted. That happens. But to your question about the protest, the people that protested the parade last year, all of a sudden, about halfway through the afternoon, we're party's going, we're rocking and rolling, things are going well. All of a sudden, these people just show up, like a freaking army of ants, right? There's 100 of them.
Rude
They show up.
bastards.
No, they weren't rude at all. It was actually really interesting to watch because I'm sitting there and my husband Jason Carlton was there representing his brand,
Of course he was.
like he does. And so I always end up in vendor corner, mostly because I know a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And so they all just kind of congregate on my corner of the bar. So I'm sitting there and I didn't have any customers. So I'm leaning against the bar and I look over and I see the T-shirts that they're wearing. And I said, "Oh, hey, those are the guys that stopped the parade last year. I wonder if they're here as a vendor or to protest."
what are you selling?
So in no shit, 5 minutes flat, they had their pop-up tent up, they had their table all laid out, they had their paraphernalia or whatever they were giving away, and all of a sudden there's 40 of them with signs just standing there, just bouncing their signs up and down. They're there very quietly protesting
The Cobalt.
at the Cobalt.
A dance party.
Yeah,
Your extension.
yeah.
Wow.
Now,
But they didn't bother anybody. They didn't disrupt anything. They came, they set up their tent. They were there for about an hour and a half. They tore their shit down and they disappeared before I could look twice.
Interestingly about that, because I don't recall if you remember me saying.
Now, what cause do they
I'll
represent?
just tell my story later.
No, I just had to I don't know if she said who they represented.
I don't remember what their
I
group
didn't.
is.
The name of their group is Trans Queer Pueblo, TQP.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So to that point, I found it. Oh, do you remember me making a comment that we were going to talk about that archaic law of the city of Phoenix? That part of the thing was
Can't
during
wave at people. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the law. We were supposed to talk about
Right.
that during the parade. That was the whole. I had a meeting about it. He was sending us bullet points. We were going to talk about it. This had been talked about for 2 weeks.
Great. There's a
The
plan. That's exciting.
day before, I get a text from him. The guy. I'm not going to say his name because of whatever. I get a text from him, and and what's his name with Pride? It says, "Hey, due to whatever, TQP, blah, blah, we are not doing anything in the parade with regards to that." And I thought that was interesting that a law that's on the book, by the way, it's an archaic city, because Al wasn't here when I was talking about this, archaic law on the book, City of Phoenix, that was for back in the day, like in the 20s, it was because of prostitution. People would like waving down people, in stagecoaches and all this kind of stuff from the street sides.
There were stagecoaches.
Whatever
I like our math here.
Whatever the fuck was. Well, hell, 100 years ago was World War II.
I know. So
Right.
So there's this law that you can if you are caught waving to people from a car to a car from the side of the street, you can be arrested for it because it is a form of what they say is a solicitation for sex. Right. Well, come to find out that apparently the ACLU had done some digging and found out that that law, though rarely ever enforced, is adversely enforced against minorities and trans people in the world, just because a cop is a dick and wants to stop somebody. So the idea was that we were going to talk about this at the parade in a way of like, hey, wave at me, and I'll be like, hey, did you know you can get arrested for that? To get people to realize, hey,
Call
make
your
sure you're registered to vote. Make sure that who you're. And we couldn't say names because Pride's a 501c3.
Pride has to be really careful about how political they get.
Right. So
that's
idea was,
tough
and maybe some lawyer stepped in for him and said, hey, no. I don't know.
I think it was the
out.
subject matter.
But the deal was make it a fun way to educate the public about. Make sure you're registered. Make sure the people that you're voting for about. Make sure they align with what you believe,
right,
without telling them here's who you vote for.
Right.
But it was just a way to illustrate, because I guess last year, maybe it was the beginning of this, maybe it was in January. The city of Tempe repealed a law that was on their books that a household with 4 or more women was considered a brothel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So they just repealed that.
That's exciting.
Yes, you could have been a brothel if you lived in Tempe and had a few friends stay over.
Right.
I mean, that's half the school housing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where ASU is main campus, and a building could have 500 girls in it, or however many. I don't know how many a dorm
Sorority,
holds.
brothel,
Whatever.
Potato.
Exactly.
They
Lesbian
sound the
nun.
same.
Party.
I don't know the difference.
Well. So anyhow, that all got squashed, and it's interesting that you said that they were at your little extension party there at the bar, protesting in somewhat silence.
Pretty quietly, because I'm leaning up against the bar just watching it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to stop them until they do something wrong.
But what do you know what they were actually protesting for?
I wasn't paying any attention. No.
What did their signs say? Anything like down with dancing?
No idea. No.
Cobalt
nothing.
sucks. Like, I don't know.
Nothing. I got busy.
Oh, I'm curious.
Are we on the audio feed? I don't see it.
Audio feed's on right there. We're on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Shit's happening.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the megaphone to come out, because then we'd have had to do something about it.
Right, because they had that in the parade last year.
Right.
But I don't know. I'd be curious to find out. I need to reach out.
It was 2 years ago.
I need to reach out to the person that sent me that text that initially had us doing it, then retracted
it.
I'd like to find out what the reasoning was for that.
Yeah, but it was very exciting to watch them come in and just kind of wait, like, oh, maybe we do something.
We did have just walking down the street, and the police were on them, like within 10-15 feet. We had a couple of people walk the length of the parade along a sidewalk, which because they couldn't walk in the street, because then they could have been taken. So they did this public sidewalk, but they came through with their signs and their bullhorns about. One of them was for against. Well, all of them were against the gays, but if I'm not mistaken, one of them was for Jesus and against the gays. The other one was against everything.
Oh, that's
so
fun.
I feel like one of them was Westboro, who's against everything.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. They just don't like.
I don't know. I would think they'd be against paper that they print their signs on. Like they just those people. But then one of them was just denouncing us because of religion.
All right.
So but the Phoenix Finest were just right on them and let them walk through
Just
their
kept
deal,
pushing them on down,
and then got them into the corral down at the end, right by the entrance of the park where they
belong,
where they corral all the protesters. Yeah.
That's good.
Anant, what are you listening? Just audio only? I don't know what to tell you about what to fix. I'm not sure what it's doing or what it sounds like.
It says it's an old show.
It's an old show. Well, isn't that interesting?
Interesting.
Well, I don't know why it would be, because it shows we're on the air, but I will take us off the air on this, restart the iPad,
Interesting,
and start over. So
he can't hear you.
You all well tell him.
Yeah.
I'm telling other people who might be listening.
Other people that are listening, this is why your feed's about to die.
Well, if indeed it is.
Lovely. Other than that, I got to go see some children's theater this last weekend. Our friend,
Oh yeah, what would you see?
Our Tuck Everlasting.
Oh.
Yeah,
Charming little show.
Charming little children's tale about living forever and what you do and don't want to do about that. And I'm on the fence. I don't know. I feel like living forever might be kind of charming for a couple thousand years. I've never never tried it. I don't know.
You know, you could. It would give
know.
you a lot of time to actually figure out how things worked out. Like, you know, people say stuff not in my lifetime. I'll never see it in my lifetime.
Right.
But you could actually be like, well, I saw it.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. But no, it was very sweet, and we took the kids, and we haven't taken the kids to a show in a long time, so that was fun. Wow. And what else did I do? Nothing. Probably nothing. Worked.
Yeah.
The end.
Oh, by the way, for those of you watching and not listening, this is the picture my cousin sent me from New York. Trump hands, actual size, $1.25. Trump would be upset to see that there were different variations of the skin color.
Right. What are the brown hands about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But that's the
There's
picture.
a story there.
He was
Wait a minute.
Mike was actually in a brick and mortar bookstore in New York City
I love
looking
bookstores.
at books. So, and I'm assuming it's my cousin. He was probably looking at something scientific, would be my guess.
Oh, smart.
I know how.
You don't know. He might be
There's
into
a couple
fiction, too.
bookstores left in the world.
There are. I go to them as often as I can.
Actually, he texted me the name of it too. I don't know what good that was going to do me, but he did.
We have
Strand Bookstore in New York City.
Yeah.
That's where he was. Strand Bookstore.
Very exciting.
I guess Al's been there.
very famous.
Yeah.
I feel like they have their own publishing company. Like they're.
Oh, that sounds super familiar.
Strand Publishing.
But I don't feel like Googling anything, so we're just gonna pretend that's true.
No, she's going to Google it because she's.
Here I am. Strand Bookstore, new, used, rare, and out-of-print books. Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
It's a virtual treasure trove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of place where like, yep, I can be there for a while.
Right. If you never hear from me again, this is where I was last seen, and this is where I probably
All right, let's see if
am.
for those of you out in the audio stream world, see if you've got something now. If not,
My goodness, they have a whole page on their website called Our History.
oh,
Where it all began, bound by a family. Strand was born in 1927, 100 years ago.
do you know Doc Martin?
Over on 4th Avenue on what was called Book Row. Book Row covered 6 city blocks and housed 48 bookstores. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Wow,
That's a lot of bookstores.
that's a good
I
time.
can find
That
3
is-
in the whole Phoenix area now.
Well,
3.
where the World Trade Center was and is
Ish.
was Radio Row.
Mm-hmm.
All like Radio Shacks and electronic stores.
Not a
and-
whole lot of people growing up in radios anymore.
I wasn't following you. I didn't realize that's what you meant.
Yeah.
You mean like it was like the broadcast centers were all along there.
No, those are still up. Where they are now.
Okay.
But the it was called Radio Row that they ixnayed.
Huh. Well, Radio Shack shot themselves. They're out of business.
Long.
I don't think.
Long ago, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of them at all. There's one
There's
Blockbuster
no reason
still.
for them.
Oh, is
No.
that one Blockbuster still open? I heard it closed.
I
Where?
thought it was still open.
The one in Alaska. That because John Oliver
Oh,
donated
yeah.
the Gladiator stuff, and I think it finally went down.
Maybe not. I don't know. To look that up too. How was I just going to say about the Radio Shack? Yeah, I do though. I hate the fact that I have to go to Fry's Electronics up on Thunderbird and I-17. It's the only place you can walk through aisles of parts and electronic stuff that you need to actually see it, which I realize is part of the whole big box store thing. I mean, it's nice to be able to go into a store and look at something before you buy it.
Yeah.
It's
touch
actually
it,
a
hold
lot more disappointing now.
it. Which part?
The big box stores. Like Best Buy used to be my very favorite store. Now every time I walk in there, I walk out empty-handed and I go buy something on Amazon. It's awful.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's just like a showroom. Actually, it'd be nice if there was just an Amazon showroom that everybody could go to and look for shit and then go buy
There
it.
is. It's called Best Buy.
Right.
I thought Joe. I thought the last one was in Alaska, but there was
No,
a whole.
it's in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
it is in Bend.
Because that one in Alaska closed. There must have been 2 left. Because John Oliver donated all the stuff from the Russell Crowe auction that he used to help pay for his divorce.
Uh,
John, I mean, that show was so fucking nuts. The shit that he does.
Did you see he's got his finger on the pulse of the opioid epidemic still?
Yeah.
Why
that
was
was
he?
that was a really good.
This week it was a really good one.
That was a really good one.
I know. Finger on the pulse.
Finger on the pulse.
Laser
He and I are
focused.
laser focused on this
Laser
problem.
I think
And it was a shocking expose. Like I
really
love that
was.
show that they combine humor and they like just force that down you in a way that you're giggling and laughing, but like, oh,
right.
we're gonna publicly shame this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And actors reading in the voice of the pharmaceutical
So good.
CEO, just craziness or
Yeah,
president.
that was
or-
a great episode. I
Oh,
don't watch him all the
Presidente.
time, but that one was great.
Yeah, that's regular viewing, and I had 3 to catch up on. Because I was gone, so we'll segue to me.
You were?
I was gone. One more time.
Oh, you know what? I think you sent me something.
I sent a couple of pictures. I was in a little island off the coast of Venezuela called Curacao. It's part of it's Dutch. It used to be the Dutch West Indies.
Sure.
That's how many of you may remember it.
Right.
From Columbus's time in the Dutch West Indies.
100 years ago.
And it's probable and very provable part in the slave trade.
The slave trade, sure.
Yeah.
Slaves and rum, that's what went through all the West
and
Indies.
sugarcane.
A glorious history, if any.
I'm going to lie to Doug.
Okay.
What?
What are we lying to him about?
Well, because I was luring him in with champagne.
Oh.
And so he asked if it was the anniversary, and I was like, sure.
Sure.
Well, technically it is.
Right,
Kind of.
Exactly, kind of.
Kind of.
So, beautiful island, and it was constantly empty, which I found
Wow.
delicious.
That's wonderful, right? Why would I go on vacation to be around people?
Yeah.
No reason.
So, here, I'll Google one thing out of this,
Okay.
and we'll call it a day.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you so
Honestly,
much.
really proud of you.
They call it the ABC Islands, but they're all the Lesser Antilles.
Let's say the Antilles, the Bahamas, and the Curacao.
No, you're close.
Thought I just pulled that out of my
The
ass.
Leeward Antilles and that lie north of the Falcon State. Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, and they're part of the... I missed it. I was reading.
She decided to just pull that out of my ass, and it just struck me funny.
Yeah. So it's Aruba where everybody goes, Bonaire.
Jamaica.
and-
Oh, I want to take you.
Yeah. Oh, and please, that song comes up. And they started naming things. Fucking Kokomo.
Bermuda, Bahama.
Come on, pretty mama. Do not get that song stuck in my head. I have a lawyer. I will sue. The Beach Boys, another one of those. Millions of great songs, then one giant turd.
Off the floor.
everybody remembers.
Yes, Anant, you are listening to the correct show now.
There's a place called Kokomo.
Give me a minute.
But luckily, there isn't a place called Kokomo. That's a completely made up thing. People just heard.
Shut up! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's not.
Why didn't somebody make
There's
up
no
one?
place called Kokomo.
There's no place in the Keys or anywhere in the
So you're telling me that the Beach Boys have lied to me my entire
life.
life?
Yes, in a shitty song. Not only is it a bad song, but it's also a giant fucking lie.
So Uncle Jesse lied to me?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, well, so did Aunt Becky.
It's a family of lies.
Don't get me started on Aunt Becky. God damn it! I'm so disappointed.
I like that she doesn't think the judge is serious and that she's not going to go to prison. Yeah, guess what?
Lori Loughlin.
Lori, guess what?
Oh, and I watched the video with her and her daughter. I guess they have a yearly thing on YouTube because her daughter's an influencer.
Sure.
Teaches her like slang words, and they get to a word, and she's like clout. And so she's like, "Oh, that's really good. You know what clout is?" And Lori's like, "It's a real word. It's an
Right.
actual word.
It's an actual word.
It's not
that has-
slang. That's a
Well,
word."
because her daughter is
and her daughter goes,
dumb AF.
"Oh, mm-hmm."
Yeah.
The daughter goes, "Oh, it's a real word," and she's like, "Oh my God, how much do I pay for your education?" It's on video. Her
Oh my
saying,
God.
"Oh my God, yes. Oh, it's worth the watch."
My
Wow.
absolute favorite thing about that entire thing is when people go back and look at the daughter's like whole Twitter of the entire time she was in that college that got stolen for her.
Yeah,
It's all complaining about how she didn't want to fucking be there in the
college-
first place.
Oh yeah, USC. Oh, it's a delightful journey through white privilege, and it is just ridiculous. And Nancy,
It
I
makes me
cannot
want to
provide
teach
you
my
with
kid to be a welder.
I'm a couple weeks behind on movies, so I'm not up to Shazam yet, but I do have a different one to talk about. So anyway, so went to this little island, and at the end of the week of being
Not
like,
called
why am I
Kokomo.
not called Kokomo? Why am I on this? Like, why are these beaches empty? Like, why am I on the most beautiful
Why is
beaches I've
nobody
ever
here?
seen?
Right.
There's no one here. And at the end of the trip in the airport, I saw a T-shirt that said Curacao. Oh, this was my little cove that I swim across daily from rocks to shooting rocks, and
here's a beer that he had on that beach.
Ooh, Amstel Light.
oh fuck, that wasn't the one I was trying to show you. Let me see if I can find it. I was trying to show you a picture. That is, as we rented a car one day and drove to the west end, West Punt is this called, of the island, and that is just like the edge of the island looking out at eternity. And that's Matt and Kevin and Frank. That's us. It's Punta Vibes. The little town. That's Willemstad, like behind
which
us.
is this picture.
Right, and that's Willemstad, and then we are in a little town called Punda on the other side of the river, and the Punda Vibes is like a nightly Thursday night festival. They have street dancing and musicians, and all the restaurants open up for happy hour. This was the sign that my friend said was just boring. It was just lovely. It was just lovely. But the T-shirt
unfriend
said
that person immediately.
Yeah, I was just like. But anyways, there was one picture of
was
the
it
beer.
Buddy Early? Is that who it was?
No.
Yeah, probably was. Who knows?
Yeah, I unfriend him regularly.
God bless America.
Just in an out loud way.
Land that I love.
There's a place called
Come
Kokomo.
on.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you can
I've
hold on
created a
for one more
monster.
day. We do a mashup of
We're doing
Beach Boys
Kokomo and Les Mis and
do it all. Oh,
All right,
we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
So anyways, so beautiful beaches and no one there, and then the t-shirt at the end said Curacao, the Caribbean's best kept secret. Shh. And I'm like, it's just one that doesn't, like, there was only one cruise ship the whole week that came through.
Well, now you've told 14 people by talking about it here. Good going, Al.
I know.
I think 14's a little
but
lofty.
I recommend it so highly. It was lovely. And the funny thing was, like, traveling with people that just don't think things through.
Oh.
So, like, I got it the first night. I just jumped in the pool. They're like, isn't it cold? I'm like, the high is 79, the low is 78. The water's going to be 78.
degrees, right.
Like, it's the temperature of the air right now.
Right.
Which is, like, a little cooler than your body temperature.
Right.
So you walked
little
in, you
brisk.
went, oh,
Refreshing. And then,
that's
oh,
nice.
it's nice.
And we had been hot all day. We went.
Oh.
We were in New York City first. We saw a production of My Fair Lady at Lincoln Center on the street where you live, which was just delightful. And of course, Kevin's not familiar with the My Fair Lady, but he's enjoying it. So
sure.
after she sang "I Could Have Danced All Night," Kevin knows that song from the Birdcage. So they finish the song, and he goes, "You have a wonderful voice, having Spartacus."
Perfect.
We
Perfect.
just all went to. That's where
That's where they got it from.
That's
Sure,
where they got
yeah,
it
they
from.
took it from the Birdcage.
They took it from the Birdcage. And here's the picture I want to send you. So I'll send this to you. So this was just an idea of how unbelievably clear this water was. God damn it. Fat fingers. I'm suffering from fat fingers.
That's what how we're gonna sell this.
Yeah.
Jenny, I see your religious music link.
Okay.
I don't approve.
So,
I'm sure your sister's lovely.
so the water was so clear, and there was one day that I was gonna like swim out to a buoy, and Frank rented a car, and he was a good dad, and he drove Kevin and I out to West Point because Matt got a sunburn because I guess he doesn't understand how sun works. Decided to go 3 hours on a tropical island on a beach after a New York winter with not one drop of sunblock on, and then was trying to find somebody to blame. I'm like, I can't explain sunshine to a 50-year-old. Like, I can't.
SPF 75, Matt.
Yeah. So
This picture is what? I mean, I realize it's a glass bottle.
Oh my God, that's the water.
that's
isn't
the
it?
ocean. That's the water from the sea, crystal clear. So I decided I was going to swim out to this
Beautiful.
buoy because I had been doing like parallel to the
Sure.
coast. Those are my swims every morning. I go out and try to swim as many laps as I could.
Okay.
And come in because I always said if I ever got into like water like this that was smooth and warm, I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna, I know how to swim. I am going to swim and enjoy this beautiful water. Well, then I decided to go the other way,
Not so
not
good?
parallel to the coast, and swim out to this buoy. And all of a sudden, the ground was gone, and I realized I could see like I was like in like a IMAX movie, like the ocean under the sea underneath me, and it was deep, and I could see all the way to the bottom. And I'm like, I am really far out. There's no one on these beaches. There's no lifeguards. Kevin's not swimming out to help me. Like if I get like a cramp or get tired, like I'm just going down.
Right.
It was very hard. It was very hard not to float. It's like it's so salty that it's very buoyant.
Yeah.
Float on your back, you'll probably live another 10 minutes. But I really panicked. I was like, this is just stupid. This is what stupid people do. Because they always say it's the best swimmers that drown. It's the people that know how to swim that do stupid
Right.
shit.
Because they go past what they're capable
So the
of.
second day, when Matt was there, who I guess was going to save me, I made it out to the buoy. But I found
The Sunburn
this rock,
King.
I found this rock formation underneath the water that I could stand onto this mountain underneath the water that I could stand on the top of it and like take a breath and actually like stand up and then swim the rest of the way. So proud of myself. But it was just, it was gorgeous. Just absolutely beautiful. If you
Now,
want to-
you said the water was very, very salty. Does that mean, because my ignorance of how the oceans all work, is it so salty that there is no marine life
Oh, no,
immediately
no,
there?
no,
or
not
is
at
there
all.
like-
No. All the oceans actually have the same salt content. A lot of times, especially if you're really used to like a Pacific Ocean, like a California beach, it's so rough. It's actually hard to swim and float in that
Because the
tide
waves
because the
are
waves
coming
are
in.
just like beating you up all the time. So
Yeah.
when you're in a clear, you can do the same thing in some place like Hawaii where they've got like coves and lagoons that are really protected and the water's very clear and calm. The oceans all have approximately the same salt content.
So my question with regards to that content was, you're swimming out there, you're way out there, you're alone, nothing. Are there sharks?
Could be, probably.
Could be. And as I told Kevin, who's always worried about sharks,
Mm-hmm.
but we got in a cab ride with a kamikaze driver. I mean, this motherfucker, I was praying for my life, and I'm like, you're worried about like shark attacks, which are so rare. Car accidents happen every fucking day,
All
and
the
we
time.
just got in the worst. Like, that's what you should be panicked about. Like, you shouldn't not be enjoying the water because the 3 shark attacks that happen a year might happen to you.
You.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And a lightning strike and the lotto ticket are all going to happen on the same day. Like,
What a crazy
there's so
day.
many ways to die. Why would you worry about
And
that?
so
when
many
it's
Why
more,
limit
so many
yourself?
more likely
Right.
ways to
There's
die.
so many more likely ways to die, and why would I mean? It was. No, it's and that's asking if the clarity is due to the salt water. It's just something about that side of. That's why the scuba divers in the Caribbean and then that side of Mexico, the West Coast seems to be a little bit more murky. The East.
A lot of it has to do with the way that the currents run because
Yeah.
the currents run in a certain way, and there are places where crap just gets deposited in the ocean. Like there's a garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean that we talk about a lot that just kind of swirls there because the currents run in a way right past it, and then they just deposit that garbage.
Yeah, but there's no like seaweed. Like there's not the seaweed
Yeah.
and all that stuff that comes in like there
Just
is.
because it's probably not native to there.
Yeah, it's just.
It
and
also, I guarantee it also has to do with the way that the currents run. I guarantee those clearest beaches have a current that runs quickly
yeah.
nearby.
And it's the sea
Cleans all
versus
that
the
shit out.
ocean, I don't know. I mean, the in Hawaii, the water is so blue that it looks like somebody in the Mediterranean. It looks like someone just took a paintbrush.
Yep.
Like it doesn't look. The colors don't look real.
Yeah.
But it's not that same. Like you can see and it's clear. But this was like that glass.
Like crazy, yeah.
Yeah, like I was out there swimming and I'm like, I can see too much, and I'm like, and I do not want to put on a fucking snorkel mask because. Ugh.
I
But
love to
so
snorkel.
it was lovely, and I just can't figure. My friends keep going on my dream vacations, and I really don't understand. I'm like, you should really go somewhere you're going to enjoy more. But I mean, Kevin loved it. Frank had a good time. Frank just wants to hang out. He's a fun guy.
Right on.
But Matt, Matt needs to go to like
Winter
Mardi
places.
Gras. Yeah,
Yeah.
he needs to go to like
Indoor adventures.
no,
Perhaps
just big gay parties. You know what I mean? If it's not a
Oh,
big
I
gay
see.
party, he's
kind of bored.
yeah,
Ah,
right.
I don't think I
So
could
he's
do that
not
anymore.
he's not happy with my completely empty.
I don't want to do
cities
that
and
anymore.
beaches.
No,
It's done
I-
with big gay parties.
Agreed.
So I'm done traveling for a little while, but I really
Oh,
I
sad.
got a lot done.
Good for you.
It's been a busy 62 days of travel. No, 60. February was short. 60 days of travel. So,
That's the way to do it.
yeah.
I'm tired of not going places. I'm going more places.
Yep. It's the way to go. Just
Go somewhere.
I'm gonna. I've got
open
like 3
up a
trips
line.
planned this
Go
year.
to your friends at Chase Manhattan, open up a line of credit, and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Remember I said that to Molly Montgomery a couple years ago?
Mhm.
For her 40th birthday, she wanted to go to Paris. Paris is burning, baby. You got to go.
And she didn't go. So she made a post the other day that she'll never see the original. I'm like, well, snooze, you lose.
It's true.
For
Clayton McKee, what have
anything
you
that I've
done?
done, it's just been normal stuff. Like I said, we got through Pride. That's all over with. Blah, blah, blah.
How was the parade? Did you have a lovely
It
time?
was exhaustingly long. It was
Yeah.
the longest parade we've ever had. 265 entries, if I'm not mistaken.
Ugh.
And then, come to find out, which I actually knew a few weeks prior, but was optimistic that it was all going to come together well. Not one person from previous years who had ever done the parade stayed
was
on.
part of the committee.
None. So nobody knew anything about what was going
What
to
to do.
happen. So we got our script books, and they're sorted in numerical order.
That's nice.
The parade, however, was not sorted in numerical order.
Oh, so
And
nothing's changed for 2 years.
But I don't. It was the worst though that
Oh my
it's
God.
ever been. Like you and I had done some where we're like, who, what, where.
Our last one was so out of order.
It was.
And they came and yelled at us about it. They came and were like, "Oh my God, the things that you said," and the sponsors were mad. Like,
Well, this year it was, and maybe I've just blocked portions of that
Maybe.
because the last thing was the protest.
Yeah.
We were like, we got to maybe the first page, couple weren't there, and then all of a sudden we're going from like, float 23 to 214, and then we're back to 17, and then 64. Well, fortunately, Marnie and Ernie were there.
Yeah.
And one of the other parade officials, or a pride official, whichever, what they were doing is they were actually running down the street 3 or 4 floats beyond where we were.
Oh, to get the order.
And they were figuring out, what's your number? And the people are like, I don't know what you mean. They're like, your float
It should
number.
be in the windshield,
Right. Well,
dipshits.
and the other problem is when they put it in the windshield, it's a truck that's covered in everything else.
Right.
Or whatever, and we can't see it anyway. So what they were doing literally was they were yelling if they could, but otherwise they were literally holding up fingers, and he would relay to Ernie would then relay to Katie and I
the number.
what number. So like Katie was reading one, I could flip and figure out the next one, and we were going back and forth.
Oh, don't you remember, like halfway through the parade, the last parade that you and I did, I flung the book up on the fucking judges stage. I said, "This isn't shit for us. This isn't doing anything for us. We'll figure it out from their sign."
Which, a lot of what was that we were able to, but some of it there was just absolutely no way to do it.
Yeah.
And then some of the floats, the contingencies of people were 3 floats long. Like some of
God.
Well, some of the companies, they had so many people in their Gay Straight Alliance or whatever the hell it was, that it was like the front part, and then they had their float, then they had another part, and the only way we could tell was they told us, because like maybe the shirts didn't match.
Right.
Like they're 2 different groups, but it was all one big company.
Should have given you business cards.
Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and it was the longest parade time wise, because we weren't done till almost 1.
Wow.
It was the longest parade, and it stepped off. We really wasn't that late. It stepped off like at a quarter or 20 after. It wasn't that.
Oh,
wasn't
that's not bad because I heard it was 2 hours late.
No, God, no, absolutely not.
Oh.
No.
Like I said,
Now,
good news travels fast. They can't wait to come to me.
Now, granted, if you got there, if you're sitting at the end, the parade steps off at 10.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Champagne has arrived.
the parade steps off at 10 at Thomas and 3rd.
By the time they get the
if you're
fuck
at
up there,
Indian school in 3rd, yes, it's
11:30.
Right. So it may appear as though, but no. The other thing that I've been doing, which I realized almost I'm gonna have to go back to the beginning and watch it from the beginning, because I realize he tells me every day that I don't watch enough, or I need to follow this show and that show and whatever, and I don't really like to follow many shows.
Ooh, what are we
We'll
watching?
get to Schitt's Creek at some point and talk about that whole thing, how lovely that was.
I think I'm a week behind.
Documentaries are what I love, and it's science or educational. I don't want to document, or even like, the whole water thing I talked about at one point in California, where the one little city's figured out how to corral all the water tables and hoard all the stuff and grow almonds that they shouldn't be growing in California. Anyway.
Are they milking those almonds?
Oh, no. We're not going to get into that.
Can you milk me?
I'm watching
Hey.
I'm watching a documentary called A Plastic Ocean, and it is horrible to watch and to realize how god-awful bad it really is.
Yeah.
And they're not scare tactics. They literally got a guy who is a billionaire who has a yacht and has a submersible, and he's like, I'll help. So he just gets, they go to the boat, and he goes down and goes to the floor of the ocean, like a mile and a half.
So scary.
A mile and a half down. And I take that back. I'm incorrect. He went like a mile. Then they have another submersible that went the additional half a mile down. And they're on the bottom of the ocean. And literally, they're just bottles, tires, crap. And I'm like when you just see like lights come on, light has never been on that area of the ocean ever. Yeah. And all of a sudden you see all this stuff. So they were then taking on the little robot thing they had, they were using the arms and they were collecting what they could. And then they were taking it up and they were analyzing it for date. Like I don't know if they were still printing on it or if how they stamp dates in plastic where it's like melted in it.
Sure.
They were trying to date stuff to figure out where it was and then, companies and who it came from. But it's just astounding to watch this and see they're going to countries where they're little poverty stricken, like islands or countries where the entire island is completely surrounded by all this floating plastic crap. And all of the kids they don't go to school. They don't do anything. They harvest plastic because somebody they get money for what, but it's not all of it.
And there's like a stream of plastic I think it's crossing the Atlantic Ocean towards South America. There's just this one stream of plastic.
Wow.
It's ridiculous what is out there. They have one little deal in the middle of where you look out and it looks like it's perfect ocean. Nothing's there. Everything's fine. And they have I forget how many micron it is. It's a net that they pull behind or along the side of one of these boats, and they skim just the very top of the water, just for a few minutes to see how much plastic is in it. It is astounding. They just pull it right out of the water and fill.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, and it's astounding when you look at all that there is with that. And I realize that they're using a boat that burns fossil fuel to go check on this. I get all that shit. But the plastic itself is astounding, and it just never goes away.
No.
It never goes away. The plastic bags, and they show all the animals that they find that are obviously, they entwined in it and trapped in it.
Shopping with it.
They took. There's an island. I forget where it is.
Wigs out of it.
Again, I go to bed at night and I watch this, and then I realize I fall asleep during it, so I stop it. I need to rewatch the whole thing while I'm completely alert and awake to absorb it all. There's an island where a certain species of bird lives, and that's all that lives there. That's it. They went to the island and found that there are just hundreds of dead birds, and they pulled, I don't know, randomly, probably 15 birds, and laid them on a table on the ship. They're all dead, and then dissected them all. Every single one of them, their entire gut was just full of plastic, and they can't eat anymore. They can't absorb any nutrition because of it. There was a whale that beached itself that was dying. They were trying to help it, and it died while they were there. And they found out that it had ingested. It's one of those, I forget what type it is. I forget the names of all these. It's the whales that they get together and they make the surge, and all of the plankton and everything comes together, and they open their huge mouth.
Humpback whales.
And just blue. I think it's a blue.
Sure.
I think it's a blue whale.
I'm just naming whales.
Whatever it was. Where they
whales.
take in hundreds of gallons of water, and then they just force the water out and eat everything that's there.
Right.
It had ingested a huge sheet of plastic like a tarp, because it doesn't know the difference. They just saw something floating, and it died because it
could be a jellyfish, could be a tarp. Who knows?
It's not a feel good. It's not. Why is Doug Wilkie texting me? Just show up.
I don't think he knew he was supposed to be here.
It doesn't matter.
So I told him to just come over.
Well, yeah, good. You respond. Anyway, I realize that's not the feel-good story of the deal, but it's astounding to see all of these people. One of them's a news reporter who was doing something else, and then he got assigned to something, and it just caught his attention. So he's made it his entire life's goal now, just to do investigative reporting on where it comes from, how it's done.
And everybody thought Ted Danson was like crazy 28 years ago when he was like, the ocean, the ocean, the ocean. Like, worry about the ocean.
It is crazy to see it because, again, like they say, the tiniest things that are ingesting the little microplastic, then the bigger thing eats it, and the bigger thing eats it. And eventually, obviously, it gets to us.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that we're sitting there knowingly eating plastic. It's the fact that the plastic is then absorbed into their bloodstream. It's whatever toxins or chemicals. By the time
you've eaten the apex predator, you're eating everything else that the apex predator ate. You know what I mean?
It's like my mom says. She's always talking about don't reheat anything in a microwave that's in plastic. Reheat it in stone or stoneware or something else, because you heat it up and the chemicals get absorbed into the food and all that other happy shit. But anyway, it's called A Plastic Ocean. It's like a 2-hour documentary. I may have gotten through the first hour but it's astounding to watch and to see how they go all over the world and figure out the garbage patches and all of the stuff that's in the water. It's just crazy. And I would certainly much rather watch that than a lot of the other like whatever this Game of Thrones thing is you're all about. I couldn't give a shit about that.
Oh, it's wonderful.
This, I think, is a lot more interesting to me.
You can do both. You can have two thoughts in your head at the same time. Two things.
No. I don't feel like there's a lot of plastic in the Game of Thrones era of time, however.
That's why it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's wonderful. They are, however, dealing with climate change.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
In a very real way.
Yes.
Yeah, very difficult way.
Oh, and I watched my cousin in the chat room says Behind the Curve, which is another documentary that I watched that he referred me to. And I just thought I didn't enjoy that because I just found it to be a bunch of idiots who believe that the world is flat. And
yeah.
I mean, to see how stupid these people are is interesting to watch, but still you're like, really? All the science that's out there. Like, we shoot people up into space and you can literally see the curve, and then you can watch it spin.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then I just loved at the end of that whole documentary, they figured out themselves trying a test, and they said, well, if we do this test and this doesn't work, then the Earth is curved. And boom, they did the test and they went right to credits. It was funny because I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, I it's good to know that there's stupid people in the world, but I like that first Man movie. Like I find, and it wasn't a documentary, but it's the movie of the first moon landing, and it's just so inspiring. Or Hidden Figures, like smart people doing smart things, aiming for lofty goals. Like I enjoy when people are celebrating the science and the
facts.
Yeah,
I feel like
just
it must be really peaceful
better.
to just believe what you believe and block it all the rest out. Like it must be really peaceful.
Yeah, but you got to fight pretty hard to think the Earth is like we got to work overtime to think, and stay pretty low to the ground to think that the Earth is flat.
But do you? Like if you just decide on a thing and decide that nothing else matters, don't you just kind of like blocking out all? It's like noise canceling headphones. Like,
Yeah,
and I would also think that you got to work pretty hard because the 99.999% of the rest of the world believes and understands that it's curved and round.
Yeah, but it makes me special.
How are you defending?
Believer.
but you're working overtime trying to defend your point of. I mean, come on.
But am I? Because all the facts that you throw at me, I still can't see them. I don't care about them. Like,
But I would guess that most people are
trying
trying to convince others to join their cult.
Oh,
just
that
like
might
the
be
Mormons,
true.
like
Oh, sure.
all any other religion that believes whatever.
Ding dong, hello.
Yeah,
yeah. When the flat earthers come knocking on my door,
come
Oh my
on.
gosh.
I'm not answering
Do they
for
have
them either.
missionaries? I want to answer.
I
that.
know.
And one of the things I loved about it, if I'm not mistaken,
but they can't go in an airplane because then you can see the curvature of the Earth,
Interesting.
and that ruins
one
it.
of the things that was said
It's
in the
just the windows
documentary,
on the plane.
they actually said we have members all around the world, and I was like, you just said it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta change your terminology all over
All
the world.
over the
Over
world would be
go
one
with,
thing.
go with the ELO
But they
title.
literally-
in many parts
All
of the
over
world.
They literally believe they're living in the Truman Show, where it's a soundstage and it's all controlled and everything's like, no.
Okay, so I'm kind of back on board because I 100% believe we're living in the Matrix. So,
Yeah, and I'm on board
back
with
with
that
them.
Game of Thrones theory that it's all in the blue eye of a giant.
ooh, interesting. See, same.
Are we ready for headlines? Do y'all have
It's
your
very Twilight Zone stupid.
Do y'all have your shit together enough for headlines? or not?
Sure.
Do we ever?
Well, I don't know. That's why I have to ask you people.
I'm as here as I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Clayton. It's
All
not
right.
getting better than this today.
All right, kids, we're going to try and see how this works out. Headlines on a Tuesday night. This, of course, is our teaser going into the B block, which is hour 2. Oh, a man tries to rob a bank after a wizard makes him invisible.
Lasers and aliens.
Avoid diabetes.
Bowls of mashed potatoes left around Jackson, Mississippi.
Manhunt for the devil.
Beards are filthy.
Suspected robber turns out to be a Roomba. And- go ahead.
New Jersey drivers are terrible.
And the gender-neutral voice assistant. Have you heard about that one? Yeah, we're going to tell you about it.
Oh, I want to hear about that one.
This and more exciting things coming at you in just moments. Who knows? Maybe when we get back, Doug Wilkley will be joining us. If not,
He's allegedly on his way.
well, that'll be exciting for all of us.
En route.
Very impressed. Was not embarrassed at all. I thought I would be.
You're listening to You Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
My mic didn't come on. I hate when that happens. Heidi ho, everybody. It's the show. It's Q Talk America. It's a Tuesday night in Studio C in Phoenix, Arizona. You are live with Kat Carlson, Al Perkins. I'm Clayton McKee, and we know because we have name tags. We have name tags today because we thought Al wasn't going to remember us.
He still doesn't.
When Doug gets in.
I mean, you look familiar.
Yeah. I sang karaoke with him last night.
Oh, he
You
did.
did?
Yeah.
Give us some.
I saw you guys were at the Stacy's. I almost came over.
He came
very
by.
real Ruth
He came by and almost won third place in trivia.
Oh my God, you should have called me. We'd have won.
And then you feel free to join. 7 p.m. every Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you.
I don't want to go on my own though. I want to know that there are people that I like going to be
Well,
there.
he might show up. There's other people that I'm there.
It's at the end of my street.
Yeah.
All right.
There's that. All right, kids. It's
How
time.
far?
It's time for it. Well, we don't want to get into that. Never trusting strangers is something that we're always taught by our
Stranger
parents.
danger. Stranger danger.
Our
I
parents
believe in
and
it.
our parents and guardians at an early stage of life, especially if the stranger says he's a sorcerer or a wizard who can turn you invisible and enable you to rob banks.
Oh, I like him now.
Unfortunately, for one man in Iran, he made the mistake of trusting a fake sorcerer. Because are there real sorcerers?
Yes.
Who convinced him that he was invisible and could then rob banks safely. The man explained to the court that he had paid 5 million rials, which is just under 290 pounds or $120, to a wizard imposter who in return gave him a set of spells to tie to his arm. The fake sorcerer explained to him that the fake
Read
sorcerer
it later at your convenience.
The fake sorcerer explained to him that the spells would make him invisible and that he could then rob all of the banks that he wanted. However, the man's ill-fated attempt to rob a bank started to go wrong after he entered the bank and started randomly snatching money from the hands of customers before they decided to act quickly and overpower him. The man told
It's a strategy.
The man told the court, quote, "I made a mistake. I understand now what a big trick was played on me." Can you imagine just walking through the bank, just taking money out of people?
There's no one I don't want to be in this story. I want to be the judge. I want to be the sorcerer. I want to be the guy that thinks I'm invisible for like a good 5-6 minutes.
I love this a lot.
It's cash
That
money.
a floating bag that just mysteriously fills with money is making its
I feel
way
like that's
through
a
the bank.
Disney movie.
That's
It's
all
a
I can picture. It's a
cartoon.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Just the bag.
Right.
Oh
Oh my God, there's a
gosh.
bag going around filling up with money mysteriously. Ooh, it's a mystery.
I love people. Scooby-Doo comes in and solves the whole thing.
Yeah. And I would have gotten away with it.
If it wasn't for you meddling kids.
God
Cat Carlson.
damn it.
Speaking of meddling kids, cops are hunting a woman who donned a devil mask and a black curly-haired wig before throwing acid all over cars in a tiny British village.
Does she sometimes pretend to be a sorceress?
Perhaps.
Sell invisibility
Perhaps.
spells?
Maybe.
It wasn't clear at press time whether she had decided to rob banks afterward. But 6 cars are believed to have been targeted in the disturbing string of attacks. For example, John Hurley, 73. I'm summarizing here because I can't say the names of the towns.
I wish I had a picture of
because
this
they're
lady.
British.
For example.
John Hurley had his car targeted in one of the terrifying attacks.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
acid.
the wig itself would be bad.
Well, police are now searching for the culprit after finding an abandoned mask and wig in a small town of barely 1,000 people. It's got to be one of these fuckers. And bizarrely, the woman is also suspected to have posted porn through letterboxes during the attacks. So she's pouring acid on the cars, putting porn in the mailbox.
She's
acid on
busy.
the
She's
cars,
literally posting
literally
letters.
Posting letters. Literally putting them.
We're
it's-
using the Queen's English
from
now.
Yeah, this is from the Daily Sun or some shit like that.
Daily
So
hoo-ha.
John Hurley, the aforementioned victim, a semi-retired music teacher, is the latest victim of this. His car was so badly damaged it could be a write-off. The gel-like acid stripped its paint back to bare metal, and also melted the plastic wipers and headlamps.
Hokey smokes.
I know,
Wow.
a plastic spatula used to scrape it off also melted.
Oh, see how that works?
Also melted. Well, luckily, he said, I was aware of the previous attacks, so I knew as soon as I saw it, I knew straight away what it was. If I hadn't known and touched it, it would have been disastrous.
Disaster.
I teach music, and the acid would have damaged my fingers.
Oh, his fingers.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
know. It's devastating to think there are people in our community who could do such a thing. Move to America, pal. You'll believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of pounds, that's British money for dollars, of damage were caused to 5 cars and a motorhome, with fears the crimes could have sparked copycat attackers.
They call those a caravan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're caravanners.
Interesting. Now the villagers are desperate for answers. They've pooled 2,000 pounds of reward money to help catch those responsible.
The villagers.
The villagers. I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. One person who did not want to be named said our home security cameras showed at
Anonymous
least
villager.
2 people involved in the attack on our vehicle and property. So now the witch, or the devil, or whatever the fuck she is,
Sorceress.
has an accomplice.
Oh.
Ooh.
The pair pulled up in a vehicle. One was a stout, bald, middle-aged man wearing glasses.
It's not me. It's not me.
How old is this story?
Yeah, exactly. I can show you pictures of me somewhere in a t-shirt
accompanied
with
by
your name
a
on it.
tallish, middle-aged woman who was wearing a devil's mask and a black curly wig. Al, I need to know the whereabouts of you and Molly Montgomery immediately.
Wow.
We're
A
describing her as
tallish,
tallish.
middle-aged woman wearing a devil's mask and a black curly wig.
I wasn't sure which one was which in that story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, it doesn't matter.
The jury was out of twins. You know what I mean? Same.
Doesn't matter, but we're going to need to ask you some questions.
Sometimes we switch disguises.
I know. Both gender neutral.
Yeah, bro.
Well,
However,
anyone-
one will only travel on a train.
anyone
Yeah.
with information is asked to contact the Gloucestershire Constabulary.
That's just bullery.
It's the Constabulary.
I feel like you need 2 pints of ale to even get through
and
that
I want
name.
you and I want you to quote incident 212 of March the 22nd.
Oh,
No.
they've only had 211 previous
I
incidents?
have, maybe that's this year.
That's a
I'm
small
not really sure.
village is
maybe
really
that's
tight.
A busy
maybe that's-
sorceress.
Maybe that's how many instances on March 22nd.
That's why she had to
Oh,
hire. That's why she had
no.
to hire help.
Not for 1,000 people. That was a small village.
They're a fucking rowdy bunch of
There's more letters in that goddamn name than there are people in that
She's-
town.
dropping porn and burning cars. Dropping porn, burning cars.
Like I said,
That was my favorite
She
part.
had to hire an assistant. She's really quite busy.
A stout, bald, middle-aged man wearing glasses.
Was available. He
Was he
said,
a
"You know
driver?
what?"
Was he the driver?
Where were you on March 22nd?
Yeah.
And,
What I
and
said was,
can I see an
you know
inventory
what?
of your wigs?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I see an inventory of your
Oh,
wig?
my bio picture for here is me in a black curly wig.
It's true. Oh my God! Wait.
Was it murder?
No, we changed it. You're in the hat. You're not in the Joyce DeWitt wig.
Oh, the Joyce DeWitt wig is fantastic.
When we started, it was the Joyce DeWitt. I don't think you're.
Scotland Yard is on it.
I think. Yeah. Let me look. I think we've changed that. Hang on. Let me.
It just that the whole bio. That's how I knew the anniversary was up, because the whole bio
Yeah. Oh, it
came up
on
as
the
a memory
Facebooks.
on the Facebooks, and it just cracked me up.
It's very funny.
I think you're in a hat. Oh, you're in a chapeau. You're in a nice little.
Oh yeah, the Truman Capote shot.
Yes, that's your.
You
Oh,
can't
that
prove I'm not
sounds
Truman
lovely.
Capote.
I can't prove it.
You,
True.
you
I
can't-
also can't prove that you are, so we're at an impasse.
Exactly.
What they call an impasse.
I rode here in the rain, so I might not be a witch, but I also had a hoodie on, so who knows? Still can't prove it.
Good luck
Can't
with
be
it.
proven.
Still remains untested. So I just want to tell you
Please do.
how you can eat Chinese food without catching the diabetes.
Oh.
Because you know,
Is
you
it the chopsticks?
yes, you eat the chopsticks. That's your best.
No, if
mental-
you use the chopsticks, that's exercise, right?
Yeah. So, fried rice, lo mein, sweet and sour chicken, wonton soups, these beloved dishes at Chinese restaurants, at least those in America, are delicious. But they all scream carb bomb, which is far from good news to anyone diagnosed with diabetes. Now, this was a story because I always think, oh, it's Chinese. It's a little bit healthier. It doesn't have bread in it.
Not in
Till you
America.
realize that 3-foot fried thing you're putting in your mouth called an egg roll, delicious.
Lovely.
Lovely,
Thank you.
yeah.
That's got something inside of it that looks like it was at one point a vegetable.
Cabbage. That's what it has in it.
Fried.
It's barely a vegetable. It's mostly water. It's cabbage.
Enjoyable.
So if you're diabetic, you should eat only steamed versions of anything.
Blah.
And you just, oh, wait, so avoid sweet or fried dishes. Now you just took all the joy out of it.
Out of life.
Right. I am sorry. Sweet and sour. That's what I came here for.
Listen, right.
With a side of fried rice. That's what I came here for.
My standard Chinese food order is sweet and sour chicken, also known as neighborhood cats, 2 egg rolls, pork fried rice, 'cause,
Delicious choices.
protein, right, and maybe some fried shrimp, on the side.
I like to just go whole Shelley Winters, diabetic. Chop off my leg if you need to.
Interesting.
Just
Shelley
deep,
Winters.
just deep fry the cream cheese. What are those things called?
Oh,
Cream puffs?
those Rangoons.
Oh,
crab
motherfucker.
rangoon.
Oh my gosh, I haven't
Yeah.
thought of those in a
Oh
long
no,
time.
I don't even pretend that there's no
I don't care if
crab
there's any
or
crab.
shrimp
Oh, God,
in here.
no.
No,
No,
it's that weird white fish that they pass off as crab all the time. I know
it's-
what that is.
No, the ones I get are just cream cheese. No,
Oh,
they're not. They're
better.
just called cream puffs or cream
Yeah,
bombs.
I'm
or,
in.
They just shoot
They're just
Philadelphia
called
cream cheese.
Oh, mein Gott, for the Germans.
Right.
Delicious. Mm-hmm. We know we're going down.
We should order
two,
Chinese
number
food
two
next
tip.
next week.
I know that would be a good thing. It's great for any anniversary or New
Yeah.
Year.
Mazel
Number
tov.
2, you were right. Use chopsticks. If they're awkward for you to use, that's actually a good thing. Chopsticks can help you eat more slowly than you would with a fork, even if you're a pro at using them.
Yeah.
They hold a smaller volume of food per bite, and it takes a little more concentration to pick up each morsel of food. The more slowly you eat, the more time you give your brain to register that your stomach is full.
But you're actually full, right?
Challenge accepted.
Let me tell you, if you hold it just right, it makes a little bit of a shovel. And
exactly.
you can
it's
really
true.
just scoop.
Yeah. And I am not afraid to use my fingers.
Right.
No.
And really, if you hold the box really close to your mouth, it's not that far.
Unless you can just shovel it in.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just open your mouth and just shove it right in.
Pick a lighter appetizer. Look for clear broth soups. There's
Nope.
egg drop soup. No, egg drop soup is delicious.
Okay,
Lovely.
And
approve of egg
I
drop
love wonton soup. But keep in mind that the wontons are just carb bombs. Steamed dumplings? I don't know.
Who steams their dumplings?
Make vegetables the bulk of your meal. Then why did I go for Chinese food?
Nope.
Yes, I need.
Sweet and sour chicken. That's the reason I'm there. I'm helping keep the cat population down, and it's delicious.
Yeah. Split your favorite entree among the table. I'm not poor. Get your
I eat alone.
get your own goddamn food.
Also, that
I
old joke about ordering 18 people's worth of food every time you order Chinese food is 100% true.
Oh.
I do it all the time. Every time I'm like, oh, we should get Chinese. By the time I'm done ordering, I'm like, how much money did I spend?
Yeah.
Did I buy China?
For one meal.
There's
And you're going to be hungry in about 3 hours.
and we're gonna eat it 7 times this week.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
but, I mean every
Yeah,
single
every
fucking day.
fucking
The
day.
But I
restaurant.
like when you walk by. Sorry, when you walk by the refrigerator, and you're like, yeah, I can take a bite of lo mein.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just it's just on my way to the dryer, but sure.
God, I forgot about the lo mein.
I should snack.
Right.
I just discovered lo mein in December when my niece
Oh,
was
it's
here.
so good.
Oh yeah, that's what made me realize like this can't be healthy.
Nope, sure not.
I'm just eating the thickest noodles ever made with, and that there's no meat or vegetables in that. It's just
Who cares?
Just noodles.
It's good, though.
delicious,
Yes, it
salty
is.
noodles that
Yeah.
make my feet swell
I think
up.
there's egg in them though.
Sure, why
sure,
not?
A
yeah.
little protein.
Yeah.
Makes me feel good.
I
They're enriched.
Another reason I like to go to the one restaurant in Scottsdale where I get Chinese food at home in the area. She makes her own hot mustard
Which
from
restaurant?
scratch. Oh, for Christ's sakes, I can't think. Why can't I think of it?
Is it in Old Town?
Toddy's
Is it
Asian
North
Fusion.
Scottsdale? Oh, okay.
Toddy's Asian
Yeah.
Fusion. She makes her own hot mustard from scratch,
Oh yeah,
and it
house
will-
mustard.
blows your head off. I mean, when it hits the roof of your mouth, you can breathe everything you've ever wanted to. I
Yeah.
love it, but whew, it'll make you cry. But I enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon's dad loves spicy food, but that man sweats.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anybody sweat.
is he
whenever
healthy?
No, he's happy about it too. I don't know if he's healthy.
Well, I bet
mean,
he is. But he burns the raw out
smokes
of
2
it.
packs a day and
Oh,
drinks
no.
about a bottle
Never
a day.
mind.
So healthy, I don't know, but
So Joe knows about Chen and Wok at 7th Street in Maryland, and I am on.
smart.
I
Smart,
am
smart.
seriously on the verge of their delivery area.
Right.
They always look at my address because they're like, oh.
Oh.
They take the chance, like, are you east or west of 15th Avenue? I'm 7 houses west. Just make the drive. Make the drive.
Can you meet them on the corner?
I was just leave it at the corner. We'll meet at the
I'll
corner.
meet you
I'll
there.
walk there.
Can you give them the fake address of the place
I
on
like,
the corner and just sit
um,
out there on the curb?
I like Chin and Walk. I used to eat there years ago, but past few times I went there, which has been many, many years ago, I just wasn't as happy as I used to be with it, so I moved on. But maybe it's time to revisit the fine folks at the Chin and Walk.
Yeah, delicious. Delicious.
Huh. Well, there's that.
Yeah. And that's the one meal that Tim and I really agree on is Chinese food. And, oh, so good. China
I don't trust people that don't eat Chinese
China chili, right?
China
Yeah,
Chili
yeah.
on Osborne, and
a good
place.
yes, I enjoy that.
I
place.
don't like their egg rolls, but everything else, top notch. Top
And I don't know
notch.
how they do it, but they take
Egg
your
rolls are
order.
hard to do.
She walks in the kitchen and walks right back out with it. It's the fastest service
I know.
I've ever seen
Because
anywhere.
they've got
Suicidal
giant
cats.
wok full of it.
But it's just astounding how fast you get it. Because
it's made. It's
Because you
done.
think you're going to have like maybe a conversation with the person you go to lunch with, and there's just no time. Because by the time you said
There's no time.
there's no time,
There's no time.
we're gonna eat it live. That sounds
Oh
wrong.
no, Joe, they deliver. Joe,
We all
they,
got places to be.
'cause they
Yeah,
just
but
did
he's
this
saying if you're outside of the area, you can get the Postmates people to go get it for you.
Oh, but I don't. We don't need them
No.
because
No.
me and Chen Wok made a deal with God about 10 years ago, and they come to my house. When there's somebody new, there's always a question of. I mean, and I look it up. I order from here all the time.
Right.
Yeah, they come to me.
I'm
Try-
sending you a
trying
tenth
to
of a
give you
house
more
payment every time I order for one.
Speaking of food to eat that may or may not be good for you, residents of a neighborhood in Jackson, Mississippi are confused by the bowls of mashed potatoes that they're finding on their cars, porches, and mailboxes.
Definitely good for you. And what town is that?
This would be Jackson, Mississippi. I've been in Jackson, Mississippi,
I'm going to
actually.
see if there's any good jobs in Jackson, Mississippi. I
Resident
might be
Jordan
moving if
Lewis
they're handing out.
described the Bellhaven neighborhood as a quirky one, with residents decorating road signs, putting up Christmas trees and potholes and the like. He says, quote, "So we don't know if someone is just playing a prank or if someone just has a lot of leftovers." But Sebastian Barengard says some residents fear that there's a more sinister message behind the potatoes. Quote, "Some people were thinking maybe the mashed potatoes were poisoned in order to kill animals."
Was it murder?
Do a lot of animals have the ability to get in a post office box or a mailbox? He said, noting that he almost stepped into a bowl of potatoes on Tuesday. He says, "I didn't taste it. I have a 3-second rule, so I didn't touch it either." But some people were worried. Now, wait a minute. Let me back up on this story. You almost stepped in it and you didn't taste it. Did you think by stepping in it you were going to taste it, sir? I don't understand what's going on. It's unclear if anyone
He's
has...
not ready for follow-up.
It's unclear if anyone has eaten the potatoes, and news outlets report residents haven't alerted law enforcement yet. But there's a news story about it, apparently. Resident Michael Allen says that some of the potato finders have connections to a local private Christian university, which may be a clue.
Side note, free band name, the Potato Finders. Yeah. You watch. They're going to be big.
Yep. I'd go to that concert.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Next year, headlining Pride, the Potato Finders. Bitches are losing their minds. I'm in. Now here's what I want. I want some sweet and sour chicken, one egg roll, and some mashed potatoes with turkey gravy.
I am well within the delivery limits of Chen Wok, so we could make that shit happen if we had to.
Even if we didn't have to, if we wanted to, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know that it needs
Doug's
to be
on his
done.
way here. We could have him stop by somewhere.
Douglas Murray, we need some sweet and sour
He isn't
neighborhood
listening.
animals.
He's not Marnie, for God's sakes.
Damn it,
He doesn't
Douglas.
listen.
Damn it.
It's all yours,
Oh,
Miss,
it's me.
Miss
I'm
Carlson.
sorry.
It's all right.
I forgot.
We're not a
I was
big...
busy. Apparently, I'm daydreaming about food today.
I agree. It does sound tasty.
It's like my family doesn't feed me. There's evidence to the contrary.
I can see you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, speeding, weaving, erratic driving, tailing are they on their way to Chinese food? Nobody
I
knows.
am in a
Well,
bit of
these
a
are
hurry.
some of the hundreds of complaints of motorists have submitted against public workers driving New Jersey state vehicles. That's right. Newsflash, New Jersey, terrible drivers. Who knew? Well, when you're behind the
This is
wheel
news.
of a car with state government license plates, you probably shouldn't be blazing past the speed limit. Bitches will rat you out. And apparently giving someone the finger is a terrible idea.
Okay.
Terrible idea. But some state workers are accused of doing all of this, even though the cars they're driving sport a bright yellow bumper sticker with a hotline number urging people to call if they catch them doing something wrong. A total of 298 complaints were filed through the state vehicle abuse hotline and the online complaint website since the beginning of 2018. That's just last year. Motorists filled with road rage called out public workers who cut them off, blew through red lights, or threw trash out the window. Goodness. No wonder they call it the garbage state. Some reported the presence of a state vehicle parked outside a shopping center on Sunday when no state business is likely to have been conducted. Company vehicles on personal time.
Well,
The shame of it all.
the shame of it all.
Reminds me of the time when I took the company vehicle to the bar, took it home, backed it into a tree. Who knows what happened? I know.
Oh, look
I
at
know.
all you've
It was
done.
20-something.
Well, hopped up on your
Well.
Marlboro cigarettes.
New Jersey. Apparently, there are over 5,718 state-owned vehicles spread across state departments. It's a high probability of people driving like assholes in that state. What else? I think that's it.
Oh, you think so? Huh?
Yeah. Facts.
Doug,
Hello.
Wilkie.
Come on in.
Statistics.
Well,
Yeah.
we're all wrong. Don't forget you have to grab your name badge off the countertop.
Get your name tag off the
You have to
counter
get a
there.
name tag. It's on the counter.
Doug, did you know that state employees of New Jersey are shitty drivers?
I didn't know
Look at the news flash. Like, this is important news
Yeah.
for Doug Wilkie to know.
You're all
This
caught
is
up
the
now.
this is the quality
This is
entertainment that you're missing by not being
journalism
here.
right here.
Right, this is journalism.
Hashtag feminism.
I would put it right
This
side
is
up. There you
this
go.
is reading someone else's journalism right now.
Yeah, look at that. Just stick that right on your tit there. There you go. Doug. Oh, that's Doug. Now we know.
To some listeners,
Grab a drink.
I was like, is his name Marie? I've heard him called so many things.
middle name Douglas Marie.
Douglas Marie. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. My apologies.
Apologies to all the other Maries in the world.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Especially Ave.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
Maria.
Maria. My
Maria.
bad.
no. Osmond though, very upset.
Oh my God. Her wigs. She has some great wigs at Marie Osmond.
Wait,
all right.
does she have a black curly wig?
She might
And where was she on March 22nd?
with Donnie, who is a fat, balding guy.
We solved it. We cracked the case.
Look at us.
Call Jessica Fletcher.
Douglas Marie, we just solved a crime right here live
Right now.
God.
Right
Cab
now.
drivers and crime solving.
Get
We're
ready to-
we're basically the crime solving gang.
I feel like
of
it's
Scooby-Doo.
Nancy
Yeah.
for Nancy Drewing our way through
Yeah.
this show. Yeah. Al,
I
what
mean,
you got?
what did the world do without us for 14 full days?
I don't know.
See, just
Crimes went unsolved, potatoes were mashed and mailed, coasted porn,
It's Pandalirium.
a litany of events.
While we're in between stories, has anybody ever noticed that these gummy bears are in a cult?
I see they're in a circle.
Yeah,
Look
they
at-
are. They're worshiping the
They're like
Gumi
it's
god.
like a coven of
Yeah.
gummy bears.
It's a circle gummy.
Nobody has proven that these gummy bears aren't witches.
You're right. that
And
live
that-
in my stomach
right.
in a coven.
According to that, it's the world's best. Albanese are the world's best gummy bears.
I can't argue with it because they are.
I'm happy with them.
They don't seem to ever stale. Whatever hoof part keeps them this fresh.
I feel like the
gelatin.
less delicious ones form a pentagram too. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're
You
just
better not be
reading
pointing
shit.
at my purple friend.
No, God, no, not the purple one, but the white ones and the yellow ones and the green one, the less delicious ones.
You realize that somebody's job was to put them in a sequence of, for some reason. You're right. You're 100% right.
It's a code.
It's the
It's
Stonehenge.
a secret.
of
It's just
It's Bear Hinge.
the Gumi Baron.
Gummy Bear Hinge.
Gummy henge.
Gumi.
Goddamn quality programming.
He's got to call this show a tribute to Germany.
Heil Gumi.
That
There it is. Episode title. You're welcome.
How Gummy.
I'll Gumi.
Heil Gumi.
Baron freaking.
Doug's even got the accent. Get that mic up to your mouth.
Oh,
So, in
God.
another unrelated story, well, very related to the Goomies,
Okay.
and the Goomies are good enough.
For me.
Good enough.
Thank you, Cindy Lauper.
So, oh god, that's good. So, I helped out a friend of mine at work on a really busy night and did able to have a patient, orient her to a different job, and help her get settled in a new job that we really didn't think she was going to be able to be oriented to because it was just too busy. But we multitasked, we got it done. We had a good, good solid night. So she spent the next week going through all the candies and stuff that she brings to work and picking out all the
Organizing
purple
them.
ones. And so and then I left town for a while, but she had a bag of all the purple candies, like Skittles, gummies, everything. So I could have just a bag of purple candies. And I thought that was the cutest little
Turn me
gift.
up a little bit.
Well, sure. We'll get right on our audio engineer.
Cat Carlson.
Tell us when it's going to be. Is that better for you?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my God.
Do you want to wait till I talk before you decide?
That's exactly what we need
Actually,
to do.
you were talking when he requested to go up. So
Ooh, that's a frightening
That is-
statistic.
Doug, are you feeling okay? No one's ever requested that.
his hearing is just going to shit.
Yes, we
Is
get
there a
cat
feature
brace.
where you can just turn Al off, or
I leave town as often as possible.
Only Clayton has that
only
feature.
Clayton's got that control button? The eject button.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Safety first. So, it looks like men with beards are going to be dogged with charges of bad hygiene.
Glad to hear
That's
this story.
because a new study suggests that bearded guys actually have more germs than a dog's fur. researchers at the Hirslanden Clinic near Zurich, Switzerland, also on the German border, wanted to determine whether evaluating humans and dogs on the same MRI scanner would be hygienic. Why? They did so by comparing the bacterial load in the colony-forming
LODE or
units,
LOAD?
LOAD.
Fair enough.
Of human pathogenic microorganisms in specimens taken from 18 bearded men and 30 furry dogs. I think the men could be furry too.
What was that voice?
Just in a side note, I thought I'd add a little editorial.
I thought it was
comment.
Miss Potts from Beauty and the Beast. Well, I
re-
think the men could be furry too.
Oh, Angela, that's nice.
Jessica Fletcher. Okay. I like saying
Full
her name
circle.
like a curse word.
Full circle.
Jessica Fletcher, that's awful. So the researchers also compared the extent of bacterial copies of an MRI scanner used by both dogs and humans with 2 other MRI scanners used exclusively by the humans. Turns out all the bearded bros showed high microbial counts compared with only 23 out of 30 dogs. In fact, 7 of the men had so much beard bacteria they were at risk of getting sick, according to the BBC. The jointly used scanner, again, Y, also had significantly lower bacteria counts than the scanners used by only humans. On the basis of these findings, dogs can be considered as clean compared with bearded men. I don't want either one of these species kissing me. No tongue.
Well, I don't think you're risking dog makeout sessions, my
Don't
friend.
you ever watch people greet their dog and they're all tongue? It's filthy. What's his face did it on the Oscars or the Tonys? Neil Patrick Harris French kissed that dog. That grosses me
How did
out.
I miss that year of the Tonys? Also, I'm pretty excited about that. That I missed it, that is.
Oh yeah.
Excited
I'm
you missed it. I'm sorry.
Cat, whatever
Okay,
you're
I'm
into,
sorry.
we're sex
Yeah.
positive.
No,
You
so-
have a
Super.
very strange spank bank, lady. If
No, it's actually pretty safe, and it does not involve dogs. My name is not Marnie or Ernie.
Oh.
There are no dogs in my house. In fact, I'm the killer
you
of
don't
all
have
the
a
dog.
dog?
We don't have a dog.
Oh, that's
no.
interesting.
No, my
You
oldest
did.
is allergic to dogs. And so
that's
every
a good story.
yeah, it's a really good story. So every so often they get really shitty about it. They're like, "We want a dog. We want a dog." I said, "Go to the pet store.
Yeah.
Come back and tell me how much Benadryl you need. When it's none, we can talk about it."
That's good.
Jeez,
That's just
mom's,
got-
that's
Look,
just
got
solid
dark fast.
parenting, Yeah.
mom's
Yeah.
a bitch.
Go pet a dog and count your hives.
Yeah. If you're still alive when you're done petting.
When it's 0, then you can have a dog.
Wow.
So I think it's possible to find all sorts of unpleasant things if you took swabs from people's hair and hands and then
Yeah,
tested them.
for sure.
I don't believe beards in themselves are unhygienic.
I don't think I need
think
not
they're
those
kinda
long
gross.
crazy bullshit.
Yeah.
No, lumberjack bullshit. We need
The duck collar people. What were they called?
the
Duck
The duck
Dynasty.
Duck
fuckers.
Dynasty.
Duck fuckers. Yeah.
The Duck Fuckers.
Sure.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, there
ZZ
is-
Top.
It's harder to do than
ZZ
you
Top
think.
is an example.
Yeah, that's when I'm like,
No.
no.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Trimmed.
I like a
well
nice, right,
manicured.
trim manicure.
I want to be
yeah.
able to smell the shampoo drying. I'm assuming that's how you clean them. I don't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have. Sure, you would.
Like, can't you just sit there with
Dawn dishwashing.
lather, rinse?
Repeat.
I don't really know. That's a good question. Do you use conditioner then? Is that
I would. I mean,
I think
I
you
know they
condition
your
comb
beard.
it out.
I think you do.
Do you?
interesting?
They do. And then I saw, which I think is a very cool. They have now it's almost like a flat iron for your beard. It's a heated comb, so when you can comb through it and it
Yeah,
straightens it out,
I
so
saw
it's
that
not all
too.
scraggly looking.
Yeah.
It's a very groomed. It looks good, but it might also
It'd
kill
probably look good
bacteria.
a lot shorter.
I don't know how it works.
If
Anyway.
you need a flat iron for your beard, that shit is too long.
Well,
I'm sorry.
let me tell you where a lot of people have beards. Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah.
Segue.
Beards
I got
and
one.
Beards and serial killers. Just
Deputies
chock-full.
in Portland, Oregon responded to a possible home invasion, but the intruder they found was not alive or a person. It was a robotic vacuum cleaner called a Roomba.
I heard about this.
The Oregonian, or Oregon Live, reports a house sitter in Cedar Hills called 911 on Monday, saying that someone was inside the bathroom, but she couldn't tell who it was. They wouldn't respond to her.
Inside that.
The Washington County Sheriff's Office says deputies entered the home and ordered the burglar out, but nothing happened. Deputies then opened the bathroom door with guns drawn and discovered the automatic vacuum cleaner stuck in the corner.
Yeah, your mother's requesting that I be on video.
We invited him over and turned his camera off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
finish.
now the audience
I'm gonna
members are
finish this
revolting
story
now.
before I
Roomba, come out of that bathroom with your wheels up. Your filters off.
Set to stun, sir.
Sergeant Danny DiPietro said this encounter was his first Roomba burglar in 13 years on the job. He says The Office is still having a good, clean laugh about it. Oh! My God.
I actually have a Roomba, and now I'm worried.
Is it going to burgle you?
Is it going to burgle me? Exactly.
It's in like gonna
That's
get. Is it
exactly
gonna
what
get
I
together
said.
with Alexa, and there's gonna be some like
Oh my
unholy
God.
alliance,
Terrified
right?
of oh my God.
And, right?
All of a sudden, we're living in iRobot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If Will
Alexa takes over the Roomba, and then they like
Will Smith is getting too old to
stab you
save us
death.
too. God damn it.
One of the funniest SNL sketches ever is the Woomba.
Yes.
You have that not so fresh
Yeah.
feeling.
No.
And then you
No.
see Maya Rudolph running into the forest, and at first it seems like it's going to be like a ladies' hygiene product, commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
But then she's like behind her like a horror
Running
movie,
from the
and
Woomba.
the Woomba is like chasing after her.
That's fantastic.
And the one lady in bed is asleep, and the Woomba climbs up inside of her and cleans her out. It's so fucking
My
Not
God.
okay.
It's a very different DNC.
yeah.
My God.
Well, my mom used to call it a dusting and cleaning, so that does
Yeah,
make,
the
makes
DNC.
sense,
Sure.
I know that acronym.
Oh no, Joe said you can actually control a Roomba with Alexa.
Allegedly. I
Oh
really
my
don't trust
God.
Alexa.
I don't either.
I
I only let her play music, and she does a
No.
pretty bad job of that too.
And
She
that whole
keeps
thing that
landing
it's
on-
like always listening to you and shit, that scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
don't
like
like those
that
stories.
Your
I
phone
see.
is too, by the way,
Oh,
and your laptop.
Believe me, I was the person that started complaining about the phone. It
How
happens here.
old are you?
It does happen.
No, I mean of like our contemporaries.
Oh,
no.
I'm like, did
No.
Alexander Graham
No,
Bell and
actually,
you go to school
and when you
together?
actually when you tell people that, they're like, no, it isn't.
No,
So
it is.
and,
It
and
100%
here's
is.
the thing: this is the conspiracy that I hate. When you Google that, you won't get anything. If you Google "is my phone listening to me," and all you'll get is "no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not." Yes, it happened here. I told you, I have never watched one moment of Grey's Anatomy. I don't know much about. I mean, it's been on for like 18 years,
First of
so
all,
I
they're
know
real
it's like a
people.
doctor. I know. Believe me, Ernie's in on this one too. But I know of it. Like I know it's a doctor show and it's got romances and whatever. But I've never seen 1 minute of it. I can't remember that woman's name that's the star of it, and I don't have any criticism of it. I'm not seeking it out. I just don't care. So it would be nowhere in any frame of reference. And I was subbing for Kat. You were here, and the lady on it did something cool. The actress, I don't know.
Yeah,
She did something, and you
Probably
liked
Sarah
it.
Ramirez.
And I kept saying, "Wait, who?" And you were like, "Blah blah blah."
Because Ellen Pompeo, nobody likes.
From what's it called
Grey's
again?
Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. And
Real
you kept,
people
and I'm
living in
like, Grey's
Seattle.
Anatomy, and we said it like probably 20 times as we were going back and forth. Within 6 hours later, when I went into YouTube, everything was Grey's Anatomy. Ellen, whoever the star is, the one that you said her name. I was like, that is my proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
But they deny it. The corporations or the entities, they say it's not.
I'll
But
be on a
it
computer
is.
at work looking up
Yeah.
something at work
Yeah.
on the computer at work. And then I'll come home and go on my computer, and what I was looking at is like, have you thought about
Yeah.
the Caribbean? And I'm like,
Yes, I have, and get
Yeah.
out of my head. And
Yeah.
actually, what they do is they
so
dance
weird.
around that, because
Oh.
what they actually say is that it's not recording.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's listening. It's actively listening for its activation words like "Hey Siri" and "Okay Google."
Okay,
and,
I see.
And
Yeah.
see,
See,
But then they're using that algorithm though to
so
push shit on you
so
or whatever,
it's
right?
Not, so it's all
They could
about
make
it's all
that-
about data mining and information sharing. Because
Right.
Facebook,
and they're not being honest about that.
if you use
It's
Facebook,
an Android, Joe.
right? If you use Facebook, then it puts a little tiny listener out there into the browsers, and then it pays attention to all of your other search features, and then it shows up in your Facebook ads. It does it in Instagram too.
Yeah.
And it's not all super straightforward how that information gets from place to place. But yes, it is listening. And actually, when
Oh,
you Google,
sure.
"Is my phone listening to me?" Like the first 3 articles are, "Yes, your phone is listening, and here's how to stop it."
Ah.
Yeah.
let's try something. Hey Siri, is my phone listening to me?
You can change Hey Siri in settings.
Well, that's all I get out of
That's
that.
I like that you asked, "Are you listening to me?" and it answered yes.
But here's the
Well, I
thing.
pressed the button though.
oh, okay.
Kat, here's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
So you want to have it on to hear you for the commands and stuff.
I
And
really
they're
don't.
telling you how you can turn it off. They're
Yeah.
saying, right?
Tim
Well, they're
turned
not
mine off.
not the manufacturers, but there are articles helpfully out there on the internet for how to turn
But
it off.
my point is, then why should I have to have it turned off? I'd rather have it turned on if I like those features, and I just don't want them out data mining.
Have
me.
you ever in any of your
right?
yeah, but have you ever in any of your usage of the internet since Al Gore invented it in 1992?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever read the terms of service of any website that you've wanted to use, or do you just click OK and move on?
No, I click OK.
See, it's in there. Like all
Yeah.
of that data mining, like that's in the terms.
Yeah, they
of
did that
service.
on
The
the
terms of
Daily Show.
service
They
is
talked
the
about that.
biggest lie
Of
on the
ever.
internet because
Yeah.
nobody's ever read them. Nobody knows what's in them. Like they could be stealing your children from you, and you've just agreed to it so that you could take the quiz on 90s pop songs.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
The end. So I mean,
Got
we're
it.
doing it to ourselves, and mostly because we're too lazy to investigate and too impulsive to resist the things that we know are dangerous.
God, that sounds like a song lyric.
That's true. Alanis Morissette wrote it.
Yeah.
I meant a happy song lyric.
No, she didn't write any of those. My
I still
teenage
think
self
it's
thanked her.
disturbing, though.
It, you know what, and it is kind of
creeps
disturbing,
me
and
out.
it led to, what is it, the Cambridge Analytical,
Yeah. Right.
right? It
right.
led to problems in our elections because
Yeah,
people
that's
don't
exactly
pay attention to
right.
the data and where it's going.
Yeah.
Because we're entirely too impulsive. So we want to take like Cambridge Analytica
We want
got
what we
a lot
want.
of that
Yeah.
from all of those Facebook quizzes, like, you know, which Harry Potter character am I? And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Oh, with
am I
those-
am I
Yeah.
a summer, a winter, an autumn? Or, you know, I used to get insomnia and take all those fucking quizzes.
right.
And they're just very like little tiny pieces of data, and computers are putting them all together and stealing your identities and
Yeah.
and marketing to you and targeting you.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I had because well, it's bad enough that my fucking remote from my cable box listens to me and does
Yeah.
all kinds of strange shit.
No.
My phone was doing it too, and it kept dialing Tim. So we turned off the like. Now I can't just say "Hey Siri" into my phone.
Smart.
I actually have to like go do it. I actually have to hit the button.
Like push the button.
like a fucking
But the way he
prehistoric.
You know, I don't
says
actually like
it
talking-
sounds like he's indignant about it. Like he solved a problem of calling Tim every 17 seconds,
like a savage.
but he had to he had to stop. He can't just say, "Hey, Chinwalk, send me
I
a
have
dozen
to push the button.
crab puffs."
And I never use it because I'm too impatient. So it's the same problem with the contour box when you hit the button. I never wait long enough for it to like
Yeah.
get itself all geared up and act like it was sleeping. You know what I mean? Like bullshit. You've been listening to this.
good
Oh God,
morning,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, give me just a second. Get a pen and paper, Your Highness.
It's like Mrs. Maisel getting out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, you just woke up. Sure.
Sure.
Do you know that everybody lies about that, by the way?
Which
There's
part?
There's a whole
Waking up?
another psych. Yeah, they call it sleep stigma. I saw this great article about it one time, read it, and they were talking about that people don't want to admit that, and they said so like if someone calls you on like a Saturday, and they call you at 10 and they wake you up. Back when landlines were, I think, more popular too, and they'll say, "Were you asleep?" And everyone's like, "Oh no, I've been up." Or like when your mom calls, "No, I've been up."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why are we doing that?" Like they were saying, you're allowed to sleep however long you want
Yeah.
to sleep, but it's like everyone lies about that. And I was like, I'm guilty of that. I'll do that. I'm like, "Oh no, I've been up," and I've been up for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Your dumbass called me, right?
Right. And you fucked. I'd sleep till 5 if you'd let me.
I did that literally this morning.
What? Lie?
Told my mom that.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't asleep. She called like 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
How
No,
long
I
you been
do.
up? What time did you call me?
Well, I think the mom
you
thing
sleeping?
is
Nope.
that's who I would lie most
up.
to about it. But I do lie to just about everybody. If they call,
Yeah.
I'm like I wasn't asleep. It's like just a
Oh
weird
yeah,
thing.
not about sleeping. I lie to just about
Oh,
everybody.
you just
so-
lied.
sure.
to-
Oh, but again, that setting, that sleep
doesn't?
setting that just
Yeah.
silences your phone from everything except anybody that's in your favorites
Isn't
list.
that wonderful?
Oh dear God, that's heaven.
I know. I use it when I take naps now. That's the button I push. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm not. No one's interrupting my
Yeah.
nap.
Yeah, I turn the ringer off and put it in another room. I'm like,
Sometimes I use
I
the do
will-
not disturb for days on end.
I just leave it.
I will
It's a
greet you
permanent.
if I will greet you
I
later.
kind of love that cat.
Please,
like,
please
do-
just don't disturb me. Like that's
You
just a
are,
life
you
rule.
are, however, one of. Maybe I should take you out of the list. You are one of the people that can ring through. You could wake me up
Oh,
if I
yeah.
was in a,
Yeah, and I mean,
but use it gingerly, okay? Just
Yeah,
come on, let's
don't-
don't get
don't.
crazy.
Real emergencies only.
Yeah, my mom and you and 2 other people can call me and
yeah,
wake me up if I need to.
and I very rarely. It's usually like the pillar to my house is no longer attached to my house. The thing holding up
It's
my
still
roof.
standing there though.
Bad.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're not
but nothing's touching.
it's a magical pillar.
Yeah, It is in no way holding
Wizard.
up
A wizard.
It's a wizard.
Sorceress.
Sorceress got it too, yes.
Oh
Put
my
that in the
God.
might be a witch column.
Might be.
Yeah, there is a magic column holding up one part
Whose
of my
story
board.
is it? My story, your story, whose story?
I
You
don't have
went.
any stories.
Nobody knows.
I
I-
went. Is it you? Is it you?
Is it me? All right, I mean,
No,
it could be
no,
me. I
What
don't
are we
care.
talking about? How did we get on this electronics thing?
I just
Nobody
because I
knows.
interrupted.
No, yeah, it was you. You had the last one.
Did I? What was I talking about?
I don't know. It was your third one.
Sam, if you
Because
did-
don't you have a?
Oh, I was talking about New Jersey drivers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did that? Did you do anything after that?
No, because I was done. I only prepared 2.
Okay.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Did you do anything after
And
I
don't
that?
you
have-
have a,
I have
don't you
one
a
if she doesn't
cisgender-
have
I
one.
have. I have a.
Oh,
I
see, you have
the-
another one.
I have the voice assistant story that you had heard
That
about.
was almost a segue if you
Oh,
tried a
the
little
robot.
harder.
You just
Well,
did
it
the
really
robot.
is.
Okay, so I could do another
So
one.
speaking of technology,
fair. You can do
whether it's Amazon's Alexa, Apple's Siri, or Google Assistant, the voice that talks back can sound female or it can sound male, depending on what you choose. Like
No, I didn't know that.
you can change the voice on your like.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could change
chose
the gender.
I've chosen a male voice.
I
for
do
mine.
know that you can change it to an Australian accent because we did it at your
Right.
house, and it's
Right.
the best
But,
thing
like,
that
you can-
ever happened
for
in the
for
world.
the Waze directions app, you can have
Yeah.
different voices tell you what direction you're going in. The other cool thing about Waze is you could actually record it yourself or have somebody else record. They'll give you the script.
Their script.
Which I always thought would be kind of fun. Give the script to my mom so the mom could just tell me, turn right, turn left, go fast, go do this, whatever.
Think about what you just said.
I know, but it'd be fun.
Who wants that?
Because mom
He
doesn't
does.
ever tell me what to do when I drive. She never does. She never has.
Wow.
I mean, usually
That's nice.
can we go faster?
nice.
That's
My
usually
mom's a
if
backseat
anything.
driver. She's not listening.
So anyway,
Right, my mom's not allowed to hear about this at
now
all.
researchers have unveiled a new gender-neutral option, and that option is called Q.
What?
According to them, one of their biggest goals with Q was to contribute to a global conversation about gender and technology and ethics and how to be inclusive for people that identify in all sorts of different ways. This, according to Julie Carpenter, a woman, an expert in human
He
behavior
says indignantly.
and emerging
That's right.
technologies who worked on developing Project Q.
She's not gender fluid.
The voice of Q was developed by a team of researchers, sound designers, and linguists in conjunction with the organizers of Copenhagen Pride Week, technology leaders, and an initiative, called Equal AI and others. They first recorded dozens of voices of people, those who identify as male, female, transgender, or non-binary.
That's what I was looking
But then
for,
a sound
non-binary.
engineer ended up focusing on just one voice and altering it so that it sounded gender neutral. It says, quote, it was really tricky because your brain can tell if a voice has been pitched up or down.
Wow.
He told Wired magazine it was difficult to work with these voices without destroying them. So here is, I'm going to play for
wow.
you. We're going to do it live.
We'll
Do
do
it
it live.
Why are you yelling?
So this is available on YouTube. You can look it up for yourself.
We're just trying to give you simple instructions on how to live your life better, Kat.
Right. So let's listen to this. We'll play it's a minute long. We'll play the entire speech and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm Q, the world's first genderless voice assistant. Think of me like Siri or Alexa, but neither male nor female. I'm created for a future where we are no longer defined by gender, but rather how we define ourselves. My voice was recorded by people who neither identify as male nor female, and then altered to sound gender neutral, putting my voice between 145 and 175 hertz, a range defined by audio researchers. But for me to become a third option for voice assistants, I need your help. Share my voice with Apple, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And together we can ensure that technology recognizes us all. Thanks for listening, Q.
So there it is.
Here's what I want to know.
I think that's pretty good.
Who decided Q was going to be British?
Yeah, right.
That gives you a little gender
What's
neutral
with the
too.
accent
Yeah.
there?
Because, gay or British.
That's right. Oh, that's a fun game. That's actually
But
really
it's just a
fun.
voice, so we don't have to worry about teeth.
Oh, true.
Oh, they've come a long way with modern dentistry.
Oh, have they now?
Yes. They learn.
That
they
did
go-
sound pretty right down the middle, though. I gotta say.
Yeah,
I was
I-
ready to jump all over, like no, and I'm kind of won over by that.
I thought it was a boy a couple times. Thought it was a girl a couple times.
That's the point.
We're still talking about the voice?
No, we're talking about we're talking about Kat.
I'm sitting right here.
Cat's
I'm
right
sitting
there, Al.
Right here. Al.
Well, that's
sorry.
totally
You could
different.
just ask. So I've thought very carefully about this.
Just ask. been working up the courage for like 5 years.
If a 5-year-old could ask, you can ask. I've thought very carefully about this, and I've decided that I need
Looking into a
Gay
rolled
man or
condom.
a woman.
What?
yeah.
Jenny just spent a minute looking into a rolled
That's
condom.
also true.
That talks to you.
It talks to you. Wow, you are high. That weed is paying off now.
I've thought very carefully about this, and I've decided that I definitely want all of my robot servants to be female. I just do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
it's fair.
serious
all right.
about it. Yeah.
Wait,
I think it's fine.
What?
robot servants.
Isn't that what they are?
Well, I know, but you said that's sort of like a woman who needs to control other women.
All right.
That's what I'm getting out of that.
We're-
You
I
and your
know.
Doc Marten shoes, your German, your Nazi shoes, and you.
my Nazi shoes and my Lebanese misogynistic ways.
Confused for women
Right.
and our mothers. Everyone thought it was
True.
Oh, sweet God. And Ann, I don't know what you're hearing, but Al's voice is nowhere close to that.
Yeah, I don't know
No.
what kind of decibels they quoted, but multiply that by 10.
Sounded, yeah.
Mom says sounded male to me.
Yeah, it sounded right down the middle for me,
Yeah.
Di. But I guess I just went back and forth.
But I think, in fairness to my mom, most of the men she hangs around with anymore are my gay friends. So
she's got a skewed perception now.
Sure.
Poor Di.
It's the Val Perkins Memorial Refrigerator for a reason.
Yeah.
Because people are so often confused by my voice.
can you imagine?
Although I don't sound male as often as I sound female, so
So Al and I, can we just tell that? So I want to tell that
Yeah,
story.
go ahead.
Al and I both, when we were kids, we have this same shared experience that I'm assuming a lot of others do. When I was a kid, everybody thought I was a girl on the phone, or like an adult woman, and I would call people, and they would think it was my mom. But like when whoever would call and I would answer, they would think I was the lady of the house, Mrs. Wilkie, and they would like just start talking. And I'm like,
the bouquet residence.
But also,
What?
some of that's not necessarily tone of voice, because adolescent boys have a higher voice.
absolutely, yeah.
Who taught you how to answer a phone?
My mother.
See,
That's
so you're just
exactly-
parroting her. You know what I mean?
that's
Like
exactly
so
right. No.
the cadence and the tone that you
That's
take
right.
doesn't have anything to do with the actual tone of your voice.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
like
you're.
a,
I totally
"Hello?"
agree.
Hello would be different than hello.
yeah.
What's up?
Right.
How you doing? I don't.
Yo,
Yeah, it's your dime.
My mom was a trucker. Your dime.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
go for Val.
Oh, a nun. You.
Why?
Oh, okay.
My mother's father, I loved so dearly. My mother's father, when he would answer the phone, he was the kind because it was the old days of the phone was on the wall. He had to get up, you walk to it. He'd get there,
was ours,
he'd
yeah.
pick up the phone, he'd pick it up. Hello. There was a long delay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Between,
Hello.
like it needed to connect.
Like he needed to think about it.
Right, I know.
How am I going to greet this one?
And of course, yeah.
Hello.
But there was just that delay. Like phone has to be set right against the ear. Everything was set.
Deep
then
breath.
then he could hello.
Cute.
And of course, if he knew it was long distance, then he'd yell at you over the phone. Because that's what you had to do. It wasn't like it was Korea, 1950, whatever, when radar had to
Because
crank
there's
up
a
a
tin
phone.
can and a string on the other
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Talk louder, they're bombing. I don't know what are they doing.
My grandmother would call like all the time. I would answer the phone. Ruth? No. Debbie? No. Nancy? No. Grandma, who else is fucking home?
Val?
It's summer. Alfie, is that? Yes, Grandma. We go through this every goddamn
Every
Look
time.
what
day.
Anon
Yeah.
said. They still address me as madam even after
Al,
I
you
confirm that
swear
I'm
a lot
sir.
for a young man.
My grandma would do the same thing, but she would just start talking.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't ask who it was. Like, I'd answer the phone, and she'd be like, okay, Deborah, so I'm here, and I'm... Grandma, wait.
Hold on.
Let me get Mom.
Slow
Hang
your
on.
roll.
Yeah.
Slow-
And
I don't need to know.
And like I had to do something at work the other day, and my friend was like, "Just call." And I'm just like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm calling on behalf of. I was like, "This is Jenny," and just went on. just went on.
I'm just impersonating
Sure.
people.
Yeah,
Smart.
but it's just I'm so used to it. When people are like, "Thanks, ma'am," at the end of a call, I'm like,
Yeah,
I said
well,
my name
I
like
never-
14
I don't
times.
care. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I never
fine.
correct
Yeah.
them. I play along as long as you need to. But then when they say like, "What's your first name?" Alfred. Oh. And, and I'm like, I can actually smell the wheels turning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The smoke is coming out.
It happens to me all the time, face to face. In fact, I went and on an impulse, because I'm on the fucking like marketplaces and classifieds too often. There was a guy that was selling, and I have no idea why I need them, but I desperately needed them. Theater seats, like original theater seats. So I've got 3 seats. They're in the back of my van right now. I know they were like $60. He was basically giving them away.
Right.
Oh my god. I feel like we're on the first episode of Hoarders.
Exactly. There's going to be an intervention scheduled soon.
They're going to be lovely. I'm just not sure where yet.
That's how that starts out.
It's fine. Shush.
What numbers are they? Do they have numbers on them?
Oh,
they
that's
don't
a
have numbers
good
on them.
ask.
No, I wish they did.
They're
That'd be really
inferior
cool.
products. That's why they were giving them away.
I know.
They're poorly marked seats.
Poorly crafted.
Lucky for me, I know how to make some decals. I can put numbers on
Oh,
them.
look at you,
What
crafty
numbers would
lesbian.
you like them to
well,
be?
I don't know. What do lesbians like?
18, 20, 22.
Oh,
Top of my head.
nice.
18, 22.
18, 20, and 22.
Oh.
Because we're at Gamage, and so odds and
Yeah,
evens.
odds and evens, yeah.
I like it.
Oh, look at you.
So anyway, I pull up, I get out of the car, and the guy's out there. He's like working on a car or something because he's an actual hoarder. Like this garage was so full of shit. It was fantastic. I almost went shopping. I was like, "What else do I need in here,
Just getting started.
sir? What else do you have? I've got $40 more on me." But anyway, like he walks straight up to me. He's like, "Hey, sir, how you doing?" Sure. Nice to see you. Like I messaged him. He's seen my name. He's literally seen my picture and my
Wow.
Facebook profile.
Yeah, but come
it just happens
on.
automatically.
Come on.
What do you
We've
mean,
all
come
seen
on?
You. There's a confusion level with you going on.
It's true. You're welcome. I don't know. I just wanted to tell the story about my theater seats because I'm very excited about that.
But I can add to your story just to try.
They're beautiful and red.
When I've posted stuff on Craigslist, just to get rid of it, you post it for free because 800 people will call you. Can I have that stained, horrible, broken couch that you're trying to get rid of? Yes, show up,
Just
take it away.
first come, first serve. Come get
What's
it.
always funny is
That
people
stains from me.
people will be like, as they're loading up whatever item I'm trying to get rid of,
Right.
they're like, so you have anything else you're giving away? And I'm like, you can just clean out shit right.
Yeah.
left.
Wow.
But no, that is one of the handiest things because they'll pick up virtually anything.
Oh, look at my sweet seats.
Wow.
Oh, those
I know.
are cool.
Aren't they fun?
Okay, now I'm in, Kat. I get
And
it.
you have
Oh,
no,
that's
you don't know
lovely.
what you're gonna do with it, or you just not admitting to it.
You're going to make a
Well,
little home theater at home and only
here's-
2 people are invited.
Here's what happened. Well, there's a
We
couple.
have to have the gay seat in the middle.
Yeah.
So you have to have only
It's
you
a
and
family
Sharon.
of 4.
Right. Well, there's one that we don't like very much.
Well, you can figure that out.
I know which one that is.
He'll get a chair when he turns 18.
Right.
When he can buy his own goddamn
And a
chair.
dog.
You got a job, you can have a chair.
And get a dog, too.
Get a dog and a chair.
You and your little dog
First
too.
paycheck.
Your little dog too.
So they may end up just in the garage for one. Maybe I need a little break and just to sit down when I'm working.
I
They might just
see.
be the break room.
I
Right.
don't want to tell you how to live your life, but I'm gonna. You should put a popcorn popper
Yes.
somewhere near there.
She hates that.
No, I'm into that. They're not allowed at the bar. It's only
Oh,
break.
that's a very
No,
good. Okay,
I'm
got
okay
it.
with the popcorn. I don't mind. That is an excellent possibility. The other possibility is I have a television mounted in a room with no appropriate seating. It's just there to keep it out of the way because we
So you're
don't
going
really
to
use it
create
very
a
often.
waiting room at your house with these 3?
Well, I'm going to create my home theater where I can sit and watch movies at the beautifully mounted, beautiful television that I never get to
If
watch.
you're going to do a home theater, I would advise you to put a little more comfortable chair than that.
You don't know my
You
life.
don't have people staying all day.
Well, it's her own theater.
I don't want you falling asleep during the movie. I want you to pay
She's met the
attention.
patrons. We're gonna limit your
Yeah.
time in the theater.
I realize you live here, but this room.
We also want you to stay
One
awake.
comfy chair.
Listen.
That's a
I want you
real
to stay
problem.
awake during this presentation, so we're going to put you in an uncomfortable chair so that you make it to the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah, that's right.
The first time I went to the Cinefork or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, yeah. With the
soup
recliners
spoon,
and stuff.
Screen
With the
and fork.
recliners. Oh my god, the woman that was in the next duo
Yeah.
next to me just got trashed before the movie started. She was
Living her best
completely
life.
obnoxious through the Pepsi and Coke commercials and the Sprite commercials, and then all of a sudden the credits started and she was snoring. She
Lights
was
out.
Love it.
Yeah.
It was delightful because I could live with a little bit of, because it was
Yeah.
a gentle lady-like
Sure,
snore.
of course it was. No, the first time I saw a movie, one of those, I saw Gravity, and it was the most stressful nap I've ever taken. Because at some point when she's just kind of floating there in
Yeah.
space, I kind of nodded off a little bit, but I was really stressed out.
About,
Okay.
she's going to die.
So, I have 2 things on that one. So I'm going to ride this one home. So, big mistake. I watched Gravity on an airplane with
Oh,
turbulence.
no.
Right.
Oh
Right.
my god.
Oh,
My
no.
stress levels were at like 60. out of a
Yeah.
possible 10.
Right.
Almost lost my mind. And I'm like ducking and dodging on a screen this big.
Right.
I had the full cinematic experience on a screen roughly the
On a
size of
10-inch
my-
screen.
Yeah, on a 10-inch screen. Not even. Then I watched, coming home on this last trip, I watched that 47 Meters Down. It's been like downloaded on my Netflix forever, about the two girls that go scuba diving in the Caribbean. And hilarity ensues. Oh my god, it's kind of. I thought it was gonna. Everyone said it was like a terrible movie. Like nobody could believe it made money and all this stuff.
Right.
Oh my god, I got 2 good screams out of it. But you have to be in the middle of an airplane with people dozing off on a late night flight and just let out a blood
While you're
curdling
screaming. Yeah.
I bet you were popular.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of looks as you left that plane?
Who's the lady screaming?
I got a lot of them, and I screamed like all eyes were on me, and I was like, "It's a scary movie." sorry. And I keep it. Well, first I'm trying to hide the screen this way because Kevin was sitting next to me, and I didn't want him to watch a shark movie, even though we were leaving the beach, and he wasn't going to be around sharks anymore. So I was like, "Oh, I can't show him this." And then I watched some really great movie. I'll have to find out what it's called. Such a good movie, but oh my god, it was filthy. They were having butt sex like every 3 minutes.
Wow.
And the lady next to me, I was like, oh, this is just straight up porn. So I had to watch
Excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry.
And Kevin
Got a
looks over and
blanket
he
over
goes,
him.
how many times are they gonna fuck?
Oh my god.
And I was like, these were not my best Netflix choices. But the gay butt fuck movie was terrific.
So good you can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, gotta
I
look
watched
that
so
one
many
up.
gay butt fuck movies.
I don't need to hear that. Oh my
Who
god.
doesn't?
Oh my
On
god.
Netflix. On the Netflix.
I don't care what you watch it on or where your towels are. I need to see both hands if you're
Yeah,
watching a
just
movie.
gonna
Just keep 'em where I can see 'em.
Exactly. I don't need to see a hand towel anywhere in your house.
So the moral of the story is, should we travel together? We should sit separately on the plane.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
what I'm
I'd
gonna
go on a
guess.
different plane.
It just seems like a good idea.
That's fair.
Are you remotely prepared to do your entertainment segment? Because we need to do that.
Sure.
Sure, we're gonna. Well, let's see how it works. Like this.
We've got a Death Den. We're going to recommend a gay butt sex movie that I'm going to find
Sweet.
No.
in our
I
break.
can't wait.
We've got some Broadway shows to chat about, some season finales to chat about,
And we have to talk
season
about this week's episode of
premieres.
Veep.
And Veep, the most vulgar show on television. Keep
That crossed so many lines this last week
Oh.
that I couldn't quite believe it, but I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That
many
was
things.
that's like as far as they've ever gone.
You'll never be
All
as
right.
offended
When we
as
come
you
back,
are
Al and everybody else are going to talk about entertainment stuff. We'll be back in about a couple minutes. Stand by.
Instead of mailing everyone my vacation photos, I'm saving a ton of time by posting them to my wall.
You're listening to You Talk America.
If you think it sucked so far, just wait till after this 30-second dance break.
Well, the squirrels are back in the attic. Your dad won't call an exterminator. He says it's personal this time. Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Play it.
Clayton loves a lot of different things. Here we are. We're back. We are in the studio. Studio C, that is. It's a Tuesday night. Alongside me are Kat Carlson, Doug Wilkie, Al Perkins.
I'm back.
We've all got name tags on because Al was gone for so long. We were afraid he wouldn't know who we were. So it was his suggestion.
I said you all got to wear your name tags. I know who you motherfuckers
So
are.
So
we
what
did
happened? You get results, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. I printed them out. I wrote our
Al
names.
speaks, people listen. I know who that woman is.
Exactly. That non-gender,
That
whatever.
misgender, gender binary,
Bitch.
neutral bitch. Is that how we say it now? Is that the right way?
Yes. Well, that's how
Just
I
wanted to
do
be
it.
politically
Our,
correct.
our HR department here at Q Talk America
Bougie
is tight as a button.
Bitch.
Watertight as a frog's ass. Well, speaking of watertight, ladies and gentlemen, here's Al Perkins and entertainment.
Kind words indeed.
I feel bad for the frogs.
Yeah. I'm just happy
Maybe
to
they'll
have-
be in those movies that
I
you
sent
watch.
one text
Just be-
message and I don't know what the hell's happening. What are people talking about?
Somebody used the word tight about me for the first time since 1987.
Like a hot dog down a hallway.
Hell of a
That's
day-
all I'm saying.
Down a
hell of
hallway.
day, sir.
It's not a proven theory. I was just going along with.
I don't want to say she's a whore, but fucking her's like fucking throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
It's my favorite expression.
One of the funniest
It is
jokes
really the
ever
best thing
told.
ever.
All right, so butt fucking movie. Speaking of tight.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get to the important stuff.
Okay, postcards from London. Really bizarre. About
I don't believe I know this.
provocateurs. I can't remember what they're called. No, they're called like.
Whores?
Oh no, someone that tells a story. Raconteurs.
Okay.
Oh,
So
raconteurs.
they're paid for, like, they will have sex with you, but it's the company and the conversation. So that they're these boys that are really refined to be sex workers that offer like good companionship by knowing a lot about art and music.
In
It's
America, we
very
occasionally
bizarre.
call them escorts.
Yeah,
Escorts,
more like a geisha though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they're providing
Yeah.
a little something extra.
Do we
There's-
have a lot of geishas in America? I don't
No, but
know
you know how the
that-
geisha's about like
Yeah.
like the escort's just sitting there like arm candy. Oh, follow-up question.
Why do you look at me?
Well, it's for the whole group to see what
Oh,
everybody
okay.
thinks.
I was a little concerned.
The sugar daddy. Isn't the sugar the money?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, no, because a friend of mine was making a joke about wanting a sugar daddy, but he was saying, like, wants that, but as long as daddy doesn't want the sugar. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Daddy brings
Your
the sugar.
friend needs a little help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly. Can I get a phone
But hey,
number?
you don't have
Sugar's
to have
the money.
You don't have,
Can I get a phone number?
Yeah,
if I hear
because you
this?
don't have to have money.
Right,
because he
clearly.
doesn't want the sugar. I just wanted to
I'm
make
like a Splenda daddy. That'd be where I would be. Like, it's artificial,
I
but
just wanted to make
And
sure
calorie-free.
I wasn't using the gumi incorrectly after all these years.
now, if he wants to give him some sugar, that's different. But
Yeah.
sugar is a multi-purpose word.
Right, exactly. It's like
Person, place, or
the
thing.
The
Eskimos have,
implication
like
is
500
money.
words for snow,
Or
you know what I
some
mean? Same shit.
sponsorship of some kind.
So postcards from London, they're very pretty. It's a very odd movie. I don't know.
I just
who this
pulled it up right
director
now.
is.
That kid's
Yeah.
cute.
He's beautiful. It's a very strange movie.
Is this
But-
a Netflixer?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that just was dirty. Actually, that one was dirty too. But Holding the Man, which was really good.
There's one here on here called Sodom.
Wait,
so
there's one
whatever.
called Buttholing a Man?
Yeah, Buttholing a Man.
What?
My brown eyes winking at you.
This is on
parenthetically.
Netflix?
No, I don't know where he heard that. I
You
never
just
said
said
that.
Buttholing a Man.
Holding a man.
Oh!
Holding a man.
That's not what I heard.
Cornholing a man.
Well,
It's not on
Parenthetically,
Netflix.
her ass is watertight.
Can't imagine.
So, Holding the Man is a true story of a young couple that were kicked out of a private school in the late 70s. They had a tumultuous affair over years. The one family was very non-accepting, and one of the men ended up writing the story of their love called Holding the Man. And so this book was written like 20-some years ago, and they just finally made this movie. And it's very touching. The same actor plays them at 17 to 35, so that gets a little rough. It's a lot of wigs. But
I've seen the Liberace movie.
Looks good at 35.
Listen,
though.
if This Is Us can pull it off, anybody can do
right,
it.
but that one was really good. It's just a little bit dirtier than you're thinking. So if you want your children to find out about like responsible adult relationships without sex, perhaps pick a different movie.
Right.
And maybe don't watch it on an airplane with somebody who might be super religious. which I think that girl was all grown up now.
Oh yeah.
Because a couple times
You helped her.
I didn't get my thing turned in time.
You helped her with the world.
Yeah, she's all. She's got less questions now about butt sex.
I bet she
I
bet
or
she has
I'm not sure how
more.
many questions you really have about it.
She
But,
has more.
Alternately, she's got more.
well, we hope.
I don't understand that part.
Show me on the gummy bear where he touched you.
So this has nothing to do with this. Oh yeah, especially the purple one. His tongue was right there. That's the best part of the gumi. So the Musical Instrument Museum in June, Miss Ricky Lee Jones, one of my favorite singers, is going to be in concert. And so Tim and I got tickets because we have been listening to her since her premiere performance on Saturday Night Live back in 1979 that he watched in Arizona and I watched in Niagara Falls.
I watched it.
And when he came back from his first trip to from Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
that was our conversation, was like,
She's
you just
amazing.
see that Ricky Lee Jones lady? So I'm so excited. So that's just coming up. There's some seats left at the musical, and the Musical Instrument Museum is a fun place. It's a very, very intimate setting. It's just a little bit bigger than this room.
No.
My parents said that. My mom went. She said she beat me there, but she said it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I saw like he was like an instrumentalist, and he just happened to be playing when I was there, and I was like, all right, because we went like late, like towards a performance time. Some people actually do 2 shows. They'll do like a show at 6 and then a show at 8. And it's a really small venue. Like I was like, I don't think I want front row tickets because then I think I have to like
You'll be
play
like
the
this
cowbell
close.
or something.
Have to hold her water bottle.
Exactly. I'll
Like,
be
can
her
you
cup
hold
bearer.
this? I'm playing my instrument.
Exactly.
I have to mind her purse while she performs.
Right.
Right?
Young man, could you watch my purse while I play a guitar?
I'd be delighted
Yeah,
to.
of course.
And Val, can you help? I can also do your backup vocals for parts of the song.
Val, are you an alto by any chance?
Funny, I am. So, and then My Fair Lady on Broadway, just lovely. Lincoln
Laura
Center,
Benanti.
again, Laura Benanti, just a treat. And Danny Bernstein, who I've now seen on Broadway so many times without trying, never trying to see him. He's one of those people
Happy
that
accident.
just shows up. What a beautiful score, and what just gorgeous, gorgeous music, and that beautiful orchestra. Like, it was just a lovely evening with my parents. Like, I don't know if it was their favorite musical, but it was the one they always sang a lot, because my dad would always sing On the Street Where You Live while he was doing his morning ablutions and shaving and everything, and just gorgeous. And the best part was when they sang I Could Have Danced All Night, and Kevin isn't familiar with the show, so he was like finding it as he went, and they finished I Could Have Danced All Night, and he goes, oh, from the Birdcage. He's like, oh, you have a beautiful voice, Avigdor Spartacus. And we were just dying, because I'm like, okay, that's the pop culture reference. You
Sure.
should know
Well, that's
this
his way
song.
in.
Yes.
I get that.
So very charming.
Can I sneak a little Broadway thing in? Because I'll forget. Laurie Metcalf, I saw on you posted or somebody, Matt
Oh,
Maraska,
Buddy did.
Who's
in
Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
I know. That might be a go to New York
Yeah.
trip.
I
love her, and I just kind of thought of her in Martha, and I thought that would be great. And what's his face is the
Is it Eddie Izzard or Izzard?
no, I mean the second banana is the guy from the HBO show, the gay guy, what's his name?
Is it
God damn
Eddie
it.
Izzard?
No, this other couple, the guy, the big ear gay guy.
Oh, Russell Tovey.
That one.
Russell Tovey.
He's playing that guy.
Yeah, the other
George
one. The George Siegel part.
The George Siegel part.
I saw that like 14, 15 years ago with Kathleen Turner and like Bill, whatever his name is, that won the Tony. And I went with Rob Oloka, who had no point of reference for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So he sits his happy ass down
Neither
in the
did Clayton
theater.
when we watched the movie at your house.
Oh, and like as that goes on, and they're like all up in your face and just destroying each other's lives for 3 hours, and he was like, "What the fuck?" I mean, it was riveting, and because Kathleen Turner used to be this gorgeous bombshell, that now that she's older and a little bit heavier and a little rougher,
just perfectly
oh
cast.
my god, it was just perfection, because you could just see the rage in her, that like the beauty was gone and she was trapped in this horrible marriage. And oh my god, I don't know, it's kind of like Long Day's Journey into Night. I sat through that once and I'm like, they need therapy, I need therapy,
And I'm
maybe
not
we could
watching
turn off
this
the lights
again.
and all sit around and talk about what we just watched. Yeah, but I mean, it'd be to get the chance to see that as a stage production, because the movie, they don't open it up at all. There's one point where I think they drive.
Yeah,
But,
in the movie,
in the movie,
but it's basically it's a theater production.
They don't open it up in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, that looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's always those people that come to Broadway for just one amazing part, and like But that's brutal. Like that's one of those things you're like, oh my god. And now Annette wants to say the new Joker movie trailer. I was not super psyched for the Joker movie with.
Why do we just need to recycle that?
It looks so good though.
Character so much.
Oh my god! And
Thank
money.
you. Yeah. Thank you.
Right,
Kat.
money and
Voice of reason.
DC wants their Marvel money.
I'm
like
just
they,
over those.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't. None of those appeal to me. Those types of movies. I don't want to watch them ever.
I love those. They get so much goodwill from me because I love those 3 Batman movies so fucking much.
Well, that's different though. That's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
That I'll sign up for.
But this trailer for this Joker movie looks spectacular. Like I watched it and I went in thinking, oh my god, I can't do it. And then the trailer was over and I was like, okay, they got my money. They getting my money. So
it's really hard for movies to get your money. We know.
No, I don't see everything. But
he sees everything.
What I did see that I really
see everything.
I see a lot. That I really liked. Girl power to a degree I've never seen girl power on a movie before. That Captain Marvel.
Oh really? I haven't seen it.
5 Oscar nominees and winners.
Better than Wonder Woman?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Just
right on.
Really absolutely solid storytelling. Jude Law, Annette Bening, Brie Larson,
I like her.
Nick Fury is Samuel L. Jackson.
Of course.
Wearing younger makeup because it takes place in the 90s. So it's all 90s music.
Right on.
Because the story takes place in 1996. I was trying to figure out what year they were aiming for. And the actor that he's got two first names.
Getting there.
Greg Scott. Clark Gregg. That's his name. He wrote What Lies Beneath with he's an actor that writes movies.
Movie.
I don't know that that's a real person.
Yeah, it is. He wrote What Lies Beneath.
Okay.
And he acts, but he's on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on one of the things. So this movie sets up the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's got a lot of busy work going on.
Okay.
And then she's the last character that's going to be introduced to the new Avengers movie that comes out in 2 weeks. She's the last piece of the puzzle that has to go in so they can end the Avengers. No one's going to end that fucking Avengers movie. They're making $1 billion. So it's the highest grossing movie with
Avengers
a female
rehydrated potato flakes.
Yeah. It's the highest grossing movie with a female lead in around the world ever.
Right on.
It's the first movie with a female lead and a female only to gross over $1 billion.
I didn't know that.
Around the world. Oh yeah. And it is girl power to the max.
That's why all the good guys hate fucked it all over the internet.
They may be hate fucking it, but they all went.
I know, but you know what I mean?
There was a whole thing where they were torpedoing the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Right.
There was an actual concerted effort to put fake ratings to really tank their score.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
It's just so stupid.
The internet is awful.
Yeah, and if you're relying on Rotten Tomatoes for
it's where empathy goes to die, Kat.
Yeah,
that's where a lot of things go to die. Let me tell you the things
logic,
that have died
reason, empathy.
I just can't recommend that enough. I mean, the Annette Bening dynamic, and then just for fun, her best friend and another pilot that she works with is another woman with a female child that they're teaching female empowerment to. It is girl power at a level that you just wanted Bradley Cooper to go watch this and be like, you can have women in your movie. They can do other things.
Right.
Bradley Cooper's done. We don't like him.
They can have a conversation.
We don't like him anymore.
With somebody else. Veep.
Okay.
As vulgar as anything has ever been
and
in the history
that
of
is
television.
Easily their most vulgar episode of a vulgar show.
So goddamn funny, and you pause and you just have to rewind and I just need a minute. I just can't absorb.
I can't believe what I just saw.
I heard all 6 jokes, but now I just need you all to just stop so I can process them one at a time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and watch that again.
Timothy says Simon Simmons in sensitivity training, telling them that it's gay, it's retarded. Are they doof? I mean, he completely shits on the sensitivity trainers.
I don't think did you start watching it?
I'm way back on.
So but you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
So he's an idiot, Jonah.
The 80-story sky raper.
Yeah,
the cloud baller.
Yeah. So just picture him they have to hire the sensitivity training because they're really the damage control because he has fucked everything up now by doing it, and they can't even handle him.
No,
he's retarded. They're like, you can't use that word. He's like, why? They're retarded.
He's like, well, that's gay if I can't say it.
No, you can't say gay.
He's like, gay like you, butt fucker. He's like, I mean, gay.
Yeah, that's what he says. Not you. That's a theme tonight.
Yeah, not like you.
Not like you, but like gay. Not like butt fuck gay, but just gay.
It's so fucking wrong. And Tim had never watched it before, and he's just sitting on the couch like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, no wonder you swear so much. I'm like, it's this show.
And then like not one, not two, but like 8 abortion jokes. Like I thought they were not going to go there. Of course they did.
They went so
just
down the abortion.
Savaged that.
Don't wear white pants.
That's just good advice. Just
awful.
sensible.
My sister's passed out in there. She won't think it's rape. You can fuck her. I'm like,
oh,
what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's just awful.
Just nothing left
and then the
unsaid.
corn dogs, but I don't know if we can explain that one.
Oh yeah, I'm not eating dick shaped.
So you know how
I'd rather eat food.
So you know how every
dicks.
politician has to go to the state fair and eat stupid state fair food? And was it who was the one from Texas that said oops at the debate? What the fuck was his name?
Oh, the senator.
That dumbass. No, the real life. Who that Trump put on? Who was the governor of Texas?
Rick.
Rick, that one.
Rick Perry.
There's a great one of him. Which I know what they're referencing is. He's eating a
The
corn.
one that got a cabinet position and didn't know what his job did.
Oops, yeah, that guy. And
Oh, I
they
guess
show
I
him.
don't know.
They've got this great thing of him like eating a corn dog. It's not what you want to see. And so they reference Selena Meyer says they're like we have to go to the thing and I love that she doesn't even know her schedule. They're like what's up? And it's like we have to go to the goat fucker thing, and she's like, I'm not eating any dick-shaped foods at all. And the next scene you see is Jonah with a corn dog. And he's all and then there's another corn dog that's darker, but it's twice as big. I swear, Click, it's the funniest thing.
And then he squeezes a burrito in his mouth. He's like, look at shitting in my mouth.
Yeah, after we thought.
He starts like licking the tip of it, and you're like, oh my god.
But I got to hand it to Timothy Simons, and I am going to message him because we're best friends on Facebook. But
sure.
As an actor, he really just went there for that.
Yeah.
Like, there was just no shame. He just went crazy with the corn dogs, and it just made me laugh so hard. Like, he did not hold back. So that show is just amazing.
And then it's just a full Sunday night because you have Game of Thrones, which came back absolutely terrific,
wonderful.
And I could have if I wrote that script, they would not have fulfilled
exactly
my wishes.
the reunion.
Wow!
That you
Every
wanted,
single
though.
part of it, and at one point, because Tim has never watched it, so he watched the episode. He was like, that was really good. He was like, I kind of got into that. But at one point, I'm like, you know what? You don't need the special effects now. Like, these characters need dialogue. Like,
Right.
If you're going to maintain
they need a story
this,
and they need connection.
we need to talk. And then all of a sudden, everybody stopped. The music stopped. And, like, these two characters talk. These two characters talk. And then we're like, all right, we have to acknowledge you have a long relationship. You've been reunited after many years. You need to have a conversation.
Right.
So it got, like, chatty. Like, the dragons can wait. This family's been reunited. People are coming from all over this fake world. And really, just really well written. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've turned into like super nerd with it. So now that's my new like YouTube
You're nerding
hole.
out on.
Yeah, I'm like completely watching every fan theory and every asshole who's got like.
You'll go
something.
down that rabbit hole for the rest of your life.
Am I supposed to use my surprised face here? Is
No.
that like, oh, okay.
And like I was like, oh no, what happened to that character?
What happened?
And then of course then I'm on Wiki because
They were reading your mind.
The Wiki Game of Thrones is just my
It's
version
half of the
crack.
internet. It's
yeah,
half of the internet.
So I'm like reading through stuff, and I'm like, I don't remember what happened to that character. I'm like, oh, that episode had so much fun stuff that I forgot about that one quiet moment.
One tiny
that
little
they
thing
had
that
that
you forget,
conversation.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's where that character went. Because the one lady was just like, so that's it, I'm done. And he was like, yeah, I don't need you anymore. Go home to your family. She's like, okay, peace out. But all these other things happened that I was like, what happened to that character? And my friend was like, remember, she just said, that's it? And he said, yep. And she left.
Yep, you're out.
And that was exactly what happened. Like, it was basically the writers going, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Storyline
Thank
complete.
you.
No horrible death for you.
Right.
Enjoy the residual checks.
Forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're good. You carried that cart beautifully for 6 seasons.
Good work.
Never watched it. I have no interest in it. However, I've said repeatedly I like to watch Sunday morning on CBS. They have the new show. It's 90 minutes. They had a story about the actress who plays the lead character and all that, and it was very fascinating. She's been through medical hell.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the,
Danny,
with
yeah,
the,
with
with
the-
the brain,
Oh, really?
Brain
aneurysms,
aneurysms.
Oh, my God.
and all the issues she's been through. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, she's had like 3 mini strokes over the course of the.
And
Wow.
surgeries and all kinds of. I was
the
that
hell?
to me that was fascinating.
Good thing she's got a wig.
Wait, did you say? I'm sorry.
Good
did
thing
you
she's on
say
HBO.
CBS?
You know they got the money to keep her the fuck alive so they can finish the series.
Clip
Did you
it
say-
together.
Did you say CBS has a new show in the morning? on Sunday?
news.
Oh, new. Oh, the one. Yeah, I watched
The
it too.
Sunday mornings on
Yeah,
CBS.
yeah,
I
it's
don't watch through the week, but I love
right.
that show on
yeah,
Sundays.
I know you do. Okay.
Jane
Sorry.
Pauley hosts it.
So yeah, I mean, it's just really well done, and I read along on the thing. Like I watch the episode, I read along, and then I'm like, okay, now who is this? And then all of a sudden I'm reading the legend. Is it canon or not canon? I'm like, oh my god, those Star Wars people that I'm making fun of, I am them.
You're them, but for Game of Thrones.
You are.
But for Game of Thrones.
Did you have your Oreos?
No, sold out, motherfuckers. All the Safeway's gone. They had the display, and they had them filled with fucking Easter ones.
Fucking
Motherfuckers.
Easter.
I was bitter. Barry fills out your Sunday night on HBO, and then you have Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's just
stellar.
2.5 hours of solid fucking television.
I finally
And
watched the
with
psychic
news.
one that Marnie said to watch, which was so good on
The
John
Oliver
Oliver.
episode?
yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Like,
Yeah,
wait,
so-
we're watching a psychic show now?
Yeah, I was like, wait, which one's this?
No, we're
So,
not.
this
We're
is
not.
fantastic.
We're never
I mean, we
watching
could.
those now.
And then the show that we talked about all last year, but we can never find it. BBC has sold it to AMC, so now it's available on your on demands and stuff. And I guess it's on Hulu or Prime. I'm not sure which.
Oh, is this Killing Eve? Oh, that was so much fun. I watched all of
What
that.
the hell is
I've
that
been seeing
show about?
previews
Go
for
watch
that.
it. Honest to God, it
I
is
can't.
so.
I don't. All my friends are like, I love it. I'm like, but what is it
And
about?
is it the actress
what-
from Grey's Anatomy?
Yes.
Or
Well,
Yeah.
it's Sandra
is it-
Oh.
I love
right.
her. I love
Sandra
her.
Oh.
Because I
Is it,
recognize
Yang is
is
her
it
real name.
adventure?
No,
Like,
she's a
No, it's kind of suspenseful. It's a little mysterious.
she's
Okay.
a she's
I guess
a,
you can't spoil
She's
her
like a
already, but-
CIA MI5.
Sandra
MI,
Oh is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
MI6.
is she Eve
She's
or
Eve.
Oh, okay.
So and she's
I thought it was kind of a comedy based on the preview.
is she in a
I saw.
lesbian
she's-
relationship in it?
She's super not.
Oh, okay. I thought.
but
See
she's-
how I got it
but
wrong?
she's got a fascination with the person that she's an analyst. She should be nowhere near. She's very Jack Ryan. She should be nowhere near the action, but she kind of with her women's intuition and kind of she's the only one thinking outside the box and
Right.
says like
She's Jessica fucking
She
Fletcher.
is.
she
It's
is.
just
we're
Jessica
looking
Fletcher.
for a woman assassin. Yeah.
She's a right. She's
Apparently,
Okay.
this episode is Jessica.
So you said you watched all of it?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I need to watch it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
very
Because
good.
I've been
And they
thinking
just-
about
I
watching
was
this.
was hooked. I was like, all right, I'm bored. I don't want to watch anything. I'm just gonna put this on and take a nap. And then I was like, what's happening?
And the
next?
assassin-
Well, I have BBC. Is it still on BBC?
Yes, but
Okay.
AMC made because we talked about it all last year because I mean it was.
I got it on the
talk of,
Hulus,
like, yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
Hulu picked it up now too. Finally,
How much is Hulu?
Like $12.99
$12
a
a
month.
month.
Okay.
If you want to watch
Netflix
commercials-
just went up, so
If
Less,
you want to watch
less than
commercials,
those gummy bears.
Yeah. If you want to watch commercials, it's $7.99 a month.
how many commercials? Or do
Like
you know?
two an
It's
episode.
it's
Enough
more
to
than,
annoy
more
you?
than I wanted to deal with.
Yeah,
so I
okay.
went up
Way
to the,
less
I'll just
than-
pay the full price.
Way less than network TV though.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
way
have
more.
one less cocktail a month. You're fine.
Okay.
Pay the
True.
$13.
Super true.
Good use of British for that's
I
British
like
for
that.
dollars.
Well, that's an analogy that works for me too.
Yeah.
That's what I often think.
Yeah.
How many less Taco Bell runs do I have to make?
Yeah.
So guess what night it's on? It's
There's
on
other reasons
it's
I should
on
do less Taco
It's
Bell.
on Sunday nights.
Oh, shut up.
Another hour of Sunday nights. Do not ask me to work ever again because I'm busy.
Wait, so there's new episodes?
Yeah, new episodes started. We're on episode 2 just aired
Wait,
Of
are
what?
the new ones on the Hulu?
of Killing Eve.
Oh, okay.
It's terrific.
Is it
And
on Prime or Netflix? Because I saw the preview on something.
It's on Hulu.
Oh, then I don't have it at all.
It might be on Prime though too. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Somewhere
how it
I
works.
saw the commercial for it,
You
but
should be able to get it on Amazon. It may not be on
How much is
Prime, though.
Amazon?
$75 a year.
But then you get free
That's
shipping.
not that bad.
oh
and you
no,
get
when
free
did
shipping and everything.
no,
Shit,
no.
why didn't
Not
you-
everything.
No.
Oh, did it go up?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, I
Amazon
pay 75?
Prime is $120 a year,
Oh.
but you get free shipping
on everything.
music, video,
And what about the
And that's
video?
$10 a month.
And all the movies.
All
And
that
all the-
video,
or-
yeah.
all the shows,
or you
are
can
those
do
free?
you can do a monthly
Whatever they
subscription
own.
as well. But if you do the annual, it's less.
Probably better.
Right, but you can do the
So
do the
Hulu
monthly.
does not have current.
Oh, okay. Well, they usually wait like 3 weeks for Hulu's usually. Well, I don't know how.
Not
Hulu
with my
works.
Grey's
Yeah.
Anatomy.
I gave my mom. I got her on the Amazon Prime. I signed her. I don't know what she's watching on there, but she watches something.
But the assassin and all the stuff she does is just fantastic.
Okay,
So
I'm
the
in.
clothes choices.
Guess what
good. I
happens
love
in 2
her.
weeks?
Yeah.
I'll be on summer break,
Yeah.
and I can do nothing but watch TV. So I will
Well, I'm gonna
have
keep
the
that in
time.
mind.
Yeah.
So we talked
be
about
lovely.
Barry. We're good there, and then our Death Den, and we're done. Georgia Engel,
Oh,
beloved co-star.
I love her.
of,
Loved her.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Where's her thing? Died at 70, so she was very young
Yeah,
on the
she
Mary
was
Tyler
really
Moore
young.
Show. She was only like 25 or 24 when she went on. From 1972, she came on before Rhoda left, and then she got bumped up to Mary's best friend because Rhoda was gone and Phyllis got her own show. So it was her and all that was left. Like they introduced Sue Ann Nivens to kind of replace Phyllis. Like they kind of brought in some friends, knowing that some people were leaving, and just that sweet voice. And she starts off kind of being an annoying like character and girlfriend of Ted, and it seems like a kind of an iffy part. But then over the course of the season, like they really grew her into a wonderful character, and she ended up being such a sweet friend throughout.
May I say something? Because I really, really love her. I think she's so talented. Because I have that theory about like when people play dumb people, they're not always respected. But she is that type of, and Bob Newhart was one, and Michael Cera is another one. They call them like deadpan comics, because they just do that deadpan look. That is so hard to do. And if you go back and watch those episodes, when she does the look, like the best comic timing, it's amazing. Her comic timing and just that deadpan delivery when she's saying the stupid thing. And that's so hard to sell that.
And they
that's
said
why I
here
love
that
her.
she could get a laugh out of everything they gave her.
There's no doubt about it.
I don't know. The voice, if you'll recognize her voice. I'm just going to play the audio of this and see. I mean, if we're going to play maybe this time from What's It's, we're going to
we can do this one too.
We'll try this and see how this.
I just love her.
This is a scene from 1975 between Georgia Engel and Mary Tyler Moore on the show.
Love that picture.
It's entitled "Fat Lady and a Duck." I'm not exactly sure what this scene is about, but it's 30 seconds.
Are you sure all Rhoda would do is just listen? Well, I guess about here is where Rhoda would have made a joke, to sort of relieve the tension. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at jokes. That's okay. I guess I'm just really tense about tomorrow. This priest is playing golf with this rabbi. You don't have to do this. I know another one about a fat lady and a duck. No,
That's what I'm talking about. That's so deadpan. There's nothing really funny about that.
But that voice, that
Such a
innocent
talent.
voice of hers.
Yeah.
And she played Mimi Sue on the Hot in Cleveland.
She did.
She paired back up with her.
Yes.
But she could still be alive. She was a Christian Scientist, right? And she didn't believe
never
in
consulted
doctors
so they
or
don't
any of
know
that.
Oh,
So
no.
we have no idea why she died.
It's like no blood transfusions.
No, whatever her deal was. But I'm
In a good stage career, she was in the original cast of Hello Dolly, and then she
Working
was in,
actress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in The Drowsy Chaperone on Broadway, which I got to see her in, and it was like that cast was just stacked to the tits with famous people going in, and then to have Georgia Engel have a song about love is, something's always funny in the end, but it was a dirty innuendo that she just kept.
In which show?
In The Drowsy Chaperone. And it was just the fact that she was singing something that sounded so dirty, and at the end she finally gave away that she knew what she was singing.
Yeah.
But it just made it so funny, like her innocent voice. Let me look it up. I have the soundtrack. The Drowsy Chaperone. The song is called, well, I don't know.
Wait for it.
I only know one song from that whole series because I performed it with Barbara Seville.
Oh, this one doesn't say.
Yeah, it's Love Is Always Love. But they keep saying, like, love is always... It's a butt sex song. It's
Yeah,
basically...
of course, with a frog.
With a frog.
And a duck.
So there are disturbing themes in this episode.
It's
a lot of them.
It's gone off the rails kind of in a
You
subtle
find
way.
out you're wearing a Nazi
Jessica
doctor's
Fletcher,
Sure.
Nazis, and butt sex. All in the same, like,
Fat lady
And we
and a
In the
duck.
same milieu.
gently, just very delicately braided together.
And we got away with all the words that
Woven.
offend Marnie.
We did.
In one sentence.
That's right. It's a good thing she's not here.
You said retard a few
I
times.
said
You got
retard a lot.
Whichever one.
And I still want to be
I
able to
still
say
do.
gay, even though I know everyone gets so
You
mad
can.
about that. No, like that's gay.
But you can.
You can't
Oh,
Because you're one of them.
No, you can't because
I
people
can.
fucking take your head
That's
off
gay.
over it now. Good. Well, thank you and join me in your political incorrectness.
None of us can use the N word
No,
because
I
we're
don't
not.
want to.
We are not part of that group.
No.
And
Because
I
I
don't
was
like that word
in
either.
the '80s, we always said that. We're like, well, you're going to go do that, and we're like, but that's gay.
That's so gay.
And I love that, and I identify with saying that.
Well, it's happy.
And now they took it away from my.
I never meant it like that.
No, I meant it like it's stupid. That's why.
You
like,
sissy boy.
No, I meant it. That's why I got criticized.
Of course,
we were
smoke a
saying it was
cigarette like a
stupid.
man.
Okay.
What else are you going to talk about in your entertainment?
That's it. We're done.
Well,
You didn't talk about Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek.
Oh, Schitt's Creek. I didn't have it written down because I figured y'all would remind me.
Well, I
so
guess we
Schitt's
just
Creek
did.
season finale. Oh, please tell
glad
me you're going
I'm
to play a
high.
little bit of maybe this
Yes.
time.
Shitty. I'm glad I'm
Oh,
high.
yeah,
This
I wanna
show is
see
all
it.
about butt
I
sex.
was not. I was not prepared for what they did. What do you?
Well, this will be brand new
I'm
to
just
me.
laughing
'cause-
at Jenny because she's high and she said the show's all about butt sex.
Sure.
And Jessica Fletcher.
And you're right.
So
They go together like dykes and dogs.
Exactly.
Sure. Anyway.
But not at Cat's
Like
house.
Nazis and boots.
For the first time.
Oh, that's a shitty copy. Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. I
Stand
thought
by, stand
that
by.
was. I thought it was a better copy.
So while we wait to find your copy,
I'll find a
in a
good
sad
cover.
turn of events, and
Yes.
I need to inquire about this. So I get into a lot of like streaming stuff, like Pop TV and whatnot, on some borrowed credentials,
Sure.
and apparently they've changed the password, and I'm locked out.
Oh no.
Do you just need a Cox Cable password?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pass it on.
Yeah. Well, and
I got
I'm
you covered.
I'm quite certain that
Wow.
I'm the one that locked it, and so they either don't know that it's locked,
Yeah.
or
Right.
they have changed the password and don't know that I use it as frequently as I do.
Right.
Because I just tried now because it was like saved
Oh,
into my
in
browser for a
real
minute. I
time?
literally tried right now again because this was the only way I've been able to watch Schitt's Creek because I've locked out the
right.
password, and so I can't get to it on my phone
I
where I
got
want
lucky.
to.
It Pop is on. I have DirecTV. It's
Yes,
just
yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
It's
so
on my cable too. Yeah.
I'm okay,
I don't
but-
pay anybody for television because I
In
pay
my
lots of
effort
money
to
for my
like downgrade
internets.
my cable and pay less, I ended up paying more, but I got Pop TV.
Oh, that's smart.
And I have internet
You're a
that
financial genius.
I have.
Yeah. Wow.
I have internet so fast that.
Yeah, I just upgraded to
finished-
like the best internet in the world.
Yeah, I don't need to finish that filthy analogy. We've done
No.
enough damage.
We have enough butt sex on the show.
Yeah.
But
You really
just
do.
imagine the high speed that goes on
Wow. Wow.
when I'm not watching the Netflix.
Wow. It's like you want it to go away, but it
I
doesn't
really
go away.
thought of like 4 really filthy analogies.
Yeah.
All this
Yeah, don't say them.
But it's like a
Yeah,
No.
no.
no. It's
We'll
like
do that
Two
when the
women,
mics
one
are
mind
on.
thing is not working to either
No.
of our advantage right now. No one's winning. So they finally put on Cabaret,
Oh,
I
and
can't wait.
Noah, whatever his name is, Patrick,
Yeah.
yeah. It was
pulls off
great.
a fun rendition of Vilkeman, and
Good.
they, of course, turns
saw
out
them
there's
rehearsing
there's
money.
2 red shirts that we've never seen before that appear. You know, the red shirts
Right.
that always die on Star
On
Trek.
Star Trek. I know,
They
I'm
have the
familiar.
the 2 red shirts that come in, then all of a sudden there's 2 like really good dancers to make everybody
Well, there
look
was one
better.
doing dance coaching that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's probably going nowhere.
And so they pulled that off with like 2 good dancers. But the fact that Alexis like kept up and like did her dance and her
Maybe
little
this
rehearsal.
time.
A little bit Alexis.
And then,
For the first time.
Still, it's a shitty audio. I'm having trouble finding it.
Well, because it's
I can't find
Copyrighted
it.
But Clayton, you
pirated
posted on
stuff.
Facebook that you really liked that
Oh,
scene, right?
it-
Let's talk about that.
I was not prepared for
Yeah.
that. It was.
It was very finessed very
Can
well.
you go to poptv.com and enter your credentials
Uh,
and
hang
get
on.
it directly from the source?
This is better.
I'll be home.
Still not.
yeah.
We're not getting the full
You
throatedness of it.
really need to
Yeah.
dive
Yeah.
in.
No, so
I will.
So now remind you. I've never seen Cabaret. I've got the gist of it. I know about, and I know. I mean,
I have the DVD on my
Nazis.
desk right
I've
now.
loved-
Nazis and butt sex.
I've loved.
Yeah, that's what
Literally.
that's all it is.
It's not wrong.
So and
What do you say, Cat? Cat, tell me
Find
the lie.
and
Show me the line.
and I have heard maybe this time a million times
Yeah.
over my life.
It's very
But
meaningful.
I never associated with anything. There was no story to me. I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe this time, whatever, no big deal, right? So in that,
that's so
in the episode, because you haven't seen it, right?
I haven't. That's okay. You can spoil it.
It's
I'll
when
still
so
cry.
good.
I don't care.
when Moira finds Stevie in the dressing room, I guess it's an intermission or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
hell's going on, and she has this little conversation with her about how you're the inspiration, you're great,
Yeah.
da-da-da. And she's like, "Oh, I just wish that I could
You're the meaning
experience."
to my life.
She says, "I wish that I could experience what you all experience from behind the desk." Like she goes, "I don't get to get out. Like I'm
Yeah.
trapped."
It's like the
basically.
first time she's emoted
So she's
like
like,
that.
right. So
Yeah.
then Moira gives her this stirring little
is
chat, and then she
really
goes out and thinks,
beautiful.
maybe this time, I'm like, oh, maybe this time she's going to be successful. Maybe this time, oh my God, I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And so then Stevie, like the first line, she kind of stumbles through, and then she finds it, and then she just goes with it. It was just very
so
Oh, and that's how
good.
that song's supposed to be.
Very
supposed to be.
Exactly.
So, like,
well,
it's supposed to be really
and that's that
stumbly,
whole
and then it's
show.
supposed
You
to
know,
grow.
I feel like Catherine O'Hara knows everything there is to know about like TV and movie and production. Like, there's so many inside jokes about
Yeah.
the acting in there. and they redeem her too, because she's not the nicest person on television either.
Right.
And I don't.
But
if
we
you
like
agree,
that about her.
No, I do. But Clayton hit it right on the head. It is a really touching moment because Moira's not the nicest person, but when he's with her, that pep talk she gave her was like
it was great.
so beautiful, and it was very touching.
Even as
that show knows how to hit the notes.
Even as self-centered as she is.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make.
She has such empathy for everybody.
And that's an interesting contrast because she's normally so horrible.
Yeah.
And she had this empathy, and then that moment happens.
I know
amazing. It's amazing.
And it really it's a reading, and it's one of those actors' choices that I like. Like, you can sing that song, or you can think it through, and in the movie it's captured absolutely beautifully because it comes after this devastating moment for Liza. Where all of a sudden she's got to go on stage and she just sings about what's happening. The songs just reflect what just happened in her life.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just works. And it's just a one shot of her with the spotlight behind her casting these crazy shadows with her hands.
Is the episode that you watched, is it when Moira and David walk in on them rehearsing the dance?
Yes.
Okay, which I missed this and I watched it again. I love this.
Very impressed. Was not embarrassed at all. I thought I would be.
I just
thought I would be.
When I saw that as a perfect clip.
What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, I could watch improv.
And I do like David in the finale. David's line. They were in bed, and Patrick brings him champagne, and he says, "Is this what marriage is?" And Patrick goes, sensible. He's like, "No." He's like, "It's the leftover champagne from the hike, and I didn't want to waste it." David goes, "We could have lied."
Yeah, that's one of those little throwaway lines because the camera's
That's
already
what they're so good at.
Yeah,
the throwaway lines are the best ones.
The camera's already moving away. The scene has ended.
You could have lied.
Could have lied. Smart.
Delightful. So that's entertainment. It was a hell of a week on TV,
hell of a
sir.
day at sea, sir.
Yeah,
Did you send me the wheel? Or no?
I did. Do you want me to send it again?
Oh no, I haven't. I just didn't know if you did or not.
Check your messages.
We didn't talk about Fosse Verdon. So
I have not. I've got it taped.
I've got it recorded.
So imagine me then, a double dose of Cabaret, my favorite musical of all time, in the same week. So I get it on Fosse Verdon, and then I get it on Schitt's Creek. But
I heard whoever's playing Liza on the show is fantastic.
She is. Yeah. She's better.
Is it?
I'll tease you with this. She's better when they're doing the rehearsals. She's better in that. When she's just talking, she doesn't really look like her. But she does the whole when she's doing the whole this. That's Liza Minnelli.
It's Kelly Barrett
like
that's
it.
playing Liza.
Is it this one?
Same song.
That's the one she
Same
does.
song.
What's her name? Something Petty.
Shim Shong.
So what's her
Christina
name?
Petty.
Christina Petty.
Yeah.
But Michelle Williams is so good.
Yeah, and she's always it's always good.
And I love Gwen Verdon anyway, so I
Yeah.
kind of like them making it a kind of that she's really featured. This is not the Bob Fosse story. This is
right.
both
And
of them.
I mean, there's so much fascinating. It's one of the most fascinating things that at
Oh,
one
it's-
point
I liked
when
it right out of the
Chicago
gate.
opened, it was Gwen Verdon and Cheetah Rivera. He was broken up with in the movie All That Jazz is about making Chicago. They just can't use the music.
Right.
So they make it something else. But the show, that movie is
That's
all
what it's
about
about,
Chicago
yeah. Right.
and the filthiness of it. He wants to make a show so raunchy that Gwen Verdon, America's sweetheart, will step away
Won't
and
do it.
Right.
won't do it.
Oh, you're gonna
But
be,
no,
you're
no,
gonna
yeah,
like
but
the
no,
first
no,
episode.
no. She's and in the movie and in every version, she stays in and is like, I'm good with that. That's fantastic. Like
Yeah.
I know good work. I'm not getting out. Like
Yeah,
Right.
just because there's
yeah,
some
I'm
raunch in
getting
it.
a little bit older. This is my shot. Well, then Cheetah Rivera took a break for some reason. I don't know if she got hurt, but Anne Reinking stepped in for Cheetah Rivera. So it was like the talk of. I mean, let's talk about
Yeah.
gay. This is the gayest sentence
Yeah.
ever said. It was
Yeah.
Bob Fosse's wife and mistress playing the leads, and they
Right.
had to be together, even
Yeah.
though they're like the biggest rivals for like a week or two on Broadway.
Yeah.
His two leading ladies in life were his two leading ladies
Wow,
on stage.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the way that little cookie
We thought
crumbled.
our community was
It's on
incestuous.
tonight right now, isn't it?
I'm not sure which
Fuck, I
night it's
didn't
taping.
record it. I think it's on Tuesday night.
So yeah, so it's a one of those fascinating and all his moves are because he couldn't do classic ballet poses. He couldn't do
Yes, it's on tonight.
whatever those numbers are. So all of his are the variations of his. It's on demand. Like actually, it's
okay.
on like 15 times a day.
Okay, good. I'll get the repeat
All of
then.
his like signature poses are variations on ballet poses that he could
Oh, that
never
he couldn't
do right.
do.
and that's
Oh,
his
interesting.
signature
So
I
style.
that's
love
like,
All those-
choreography,
yeah.
like
though.
Fosse fifth position. And
Yeah,
shit
right.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
That's I couldn't think of what
They
the
number
terminology
them.
was.
Dude,
Yes.
they number
I
them.
knew they were numbered.
They start with the
first
first,
position. Yes.
and they just.
This is number one.
I think.
I keep
I
doing this
feel
like
like
it's a wig.
you always say.
This is-
I feel like fifth position is the one where your heels and your toes are touching.
Oh, is that? I'm caught on something.
Yeah, you
That's
were.
new. That's new.
It's not. You do it every week.
Are you doing the wheel?
We're gonna do the wheel.
Spin the wheel. No
I love it.
whammies. No whammies.
I have to say,
Give it a
I love this
spin.
segment.
Well, I'm glad it's all for you, Doug.
Oh, good.
Well, that's a lie.
Doing great.
Well,
doing
lied.
great.
Pretend
All
along
for
with
you,
me.
Damien.
You could have lied.
You could have
lied.
At the other one when they're with the
So
Amish
let's
people.
do our little wheel of the week
like
and
the
see what
very
comes out of it.
last
See what kind of topics we've come up with. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Band-Aid technology. What is this?
I'm glad this one has come up.
Okay.
So I, for all of my life, thought that we as a species had reached the peak of Band-Aid technology. Right? Adhesive strip with a little gauze in the middle.
Oh, literally
Like
Band-Aids.
literally Band-Aids.
Oh,
No, literally.
Wow. I thought this was.
That-
Oh, I'm so excited.
Even that one
My
where they put
world
the
is
thing on.
changed.
I thought
Like,
we have to sit
right,
through another
they've-
half-hour show about light bulbs.
No, they've had that. You know, I'm somebody whose hands are constantly like cut or cracked or
Right,
something.
so
you know
you
what I
know
mean?
Band-Aids.
Bartenders.
Right,
Yeah.
bartenders, a lot of service industry people.
Sure.
My hands get really dry in
Mine,
the
same
winter
thing.
time. Apparently, we've changed sanitizers at the bar, so now I've got like weird chemical burns in all over my hands. It's dumb.
Okay.
So Band-Aids mean a lot to me because I'm trying to get this shit to fucking heal so that I can continue to
Work.
be alive.
Yeah.
Sure.
And lucky for me,
Good
I
goal.
lucky for me, I seem to have a fairly robust immune system. So like, they're not typically worried about infection, but you want to keep them clean and hidden. So I figured I had found Band-Aid brand, some sort of like tough strip, waterproof bullshit, and I'm like, well, this is the best. This is the best that Band-Aid
Right.
can do, and they'll last maybe 4 hours of a shift. Great. That sounds amazing. Like,
This
that's-
isn't gonna go where I thought it was. I'm
no,
excited
no.
now.
This is actual Band-Aid technology.
Yeah, right.
So then, there I am at Walgreens. I'm out of Band-Aids. I'm at Walgreens. I'm in the Band-Aid aisle, and I'm looking for my, semi-bulletproof tough strips. And there I see, it's a silver package, like it's shimmering at me. It says
Shimmering?
new.
Ooh.
It says Band-Aid Hydro Seal, brand new technology. And I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
Like, they're crappy and they fall off in an hour. Been
You
there.
turned into a half
Right.
woman, half spider.
So I bought the ones that I usually buy, and I buy the one pack of the Hydro Seal, and they're not the same old Band-Aid. They're 100% like adhesive the whole way, and it's a single material. There's no like place where you put right over the cut. You
It's just one
put
thing.
the whole fucking thing on, and then on the instructions it says just wear this shit until it falls off. Like it's gonna suck it. I know. It's gonna just adhere, and it's gonna close the wound, and it's gonna keep all the germs out, and it's gonna keep all the healing things in, and it is. Honest to God, it fucking works.
Wow.
I know.
This is a great
Are you wearing
endorsement.
one now?
I am wearing one right
You
now.
are?
Yeah, I
Wait.
am right there. You can't even see it. You can barely even see it.
Wait.
I see.
So are they saying now you just
Put a
wear
ring
that?
on it.
Look at my Band-Aid on my ring finger. I know.
So you just wear it till it falls off?
Just wear it until it falls off. I had one fall off
Shower,
of this
doesn't
hand the
matter.
other day. All the cuts and all the chemical burns and all the shit is
You've
gone
just
from
become
this
the
finger.
Les Nessman of bartenders. You have a Band-Aid on all the time.
all the fucking
All
time.
the time.
All the time. No, because it's a lot. Because I
You're very bad with knives.
I don't even cut the fruit. No, it's all just the occasional broken glass that I wasn't
Right.
expecting, or it's
Opening
not
a
supposed to
box.
be.
Yeah. Oh, the motherfuckers that leave the
Those
foil on the wine.
Oh, I fucking hate
Yeah,
those
we
guys.
talked about
Oh
that.
my
I
God,
go around-
I triggered her so bad.
So much. He left it on the
Oh
fucking
my
bottle.
God.
and
Well, I
"Give
was in
that
a
to me."
hurry. I never, by the way,
It's never
I
an excuse,
never,
Doug. It's never an excuse.
It is an excuse. I never, ever
There's
do
always
that.
time to do the job
Measure
correctly.
twice, cut once.
I
Exactly.
did it that night. It's funny because at my house, I would never do that. Like,
Right.
I have a phobia about it. But I did it here because we were rushing back into the thing. The cat went in there. Oh, my God. She's like, who did this? There's
I don't even
raccoons.
drink
You
the
said
fucking wine.
raccoons. She's like, fucking
Goddamn
raccoons in here. I
Fucking
was like,
raccoons opening all the
Jesus
boxes
Christ,
that way.
what did I do? You put file it. I'm like, oh my
awful.
God.
And then
I
it gets
had
into the wine.
So
Trash
many
bandit.
paper cuts from that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, these drive me crazy.
That's so funny.
Because the wine drinkers were only there in the daytime. So,
Yeah.
Sure.
and me. But now,
Right.
most places I get my single serving bottle.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, like
So-
you do.
I am astounded by the leaps and bounds that
Hydroseal.
Well, I
Band-Aids
am
technology.
all
I feel like I
about
need to
this.
cut myself just so I can enjoy
Please
a
don't. No,
Band-Aid.
please
I don't do it often.
That's a whole other sickness, and we don't have time for that.
Well, funny story. I do have a cut on my leg from my coffee table because that's my life.
We should get you some Hydro Seal.
I was like, ooh, I do recently have a wound.
It's interesting. I don't use them a lot, but I'm the type of person I always have to have Band-Aids on standby. So, you know what I mean?
I keep them in my work backpack just because I know I'm going to fucking cut myself at some point. I cut myself on a straw this weekend.
I travel with Band-Aids.
Oh
and
my God,
Neosporin.
Joe hates to foil the bottles too.
What I didn't realize is, and I may have missed this in your illustrious description of said product, this is a Band-Aid product.
It is. No, Band-Aid brand.
Technology.
But people like Kleenex.
Oh, they right. Or,
Yeah.
or
People
Coke.
use-
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, we're actually talking.
No, this isn't some sort of off-brand bandage.
We're talking. It's this.
This is Band-Aid.
Yeah, they come in all different sizes. Of course, I
Hydro-Seal.
buy the finger ones because that's where I'm cutting.
I
myself all the
like
time.
it.
Well, you're a lady.
Right.
Well,
Extra large. Do you have extra large
I'm not an
fingers?
extra large.
no, but that's just a.
Well, I don't know.
She's well hung.
There was no size in front.
I'm moderately sized. Yeah, Band-Aid brand Hydro Seal.
Hydro Seal.
Brand
Appropriately
new. It says right there on the box, skip the fucking Neosporin. Don't put any of that crap on
Just
there.
go.
Just clean it,
Oh, I
slap the thing
love
on
it.
there, and leave it on there until it
Set it
falls
and
off
forget
naturally.
it.
Set it and forget
it.
It's the Rompo peel of Band-Aids.
You can wash.
In an hour, you have a
Rompo-peel.
chicken on your finger.
What the fuck is
Rompo peel.
Oh my
was-
God! Set it, and forget it. Al doesn't know
Rompo
that.
peel is the guy who invented all the set it and forget
Ronco.
it.
Oh, it's the Ronco rotisserie oven.
Ronco
Yeah.
rotisserie oven.
Ron
Set
is
it
the
and
name of the
forget
guy.
it.
So
Set
what
it
were
and
you
forget it.
setting?
You put your chicken in the
The
rotisserie.
cooker that he's got.
You set it and you forget it.
Oh my God, you've never watched that infomercial?
God, Al.
You was up all night.
The spray and
making
hair
sausage?
color.
I
the-
just assumed it was some kind of hair product where you put the curlers in your hair and then you woke up in the morning your hair was done.
No,
No,
I
it's for
cooked
chicken.
Yeah, cooked chicken. Anyway,
You put the chicken in your hair.
Right.
spin the wheel.
Right?
And you get the loveliest girls.
Right.
And
You
they're
set
so,
it and you forget
they're
it.
so well conditioned.
You wake up with a chicken on your head. But
All right. Well, we're going to talk about the Notre Dame.
yeah.
Notre Dame Cathedral.
Well, I mean, I hate to be shitty, but just down the street in my parlance, they got another one.
They do.
Because
Yeah.
it's Our Lady of Every City. So there's a bigger one in Reims where the champagne comes from.
Yeah.
And it's where they did the actual coronation. So if you feel like you're not going to go see it,
There are other cathedrals to see.
yeah, and there's the Saint-Sulpice. I mean, it is a shame. It's owned by the French government. I was just so worried it was going to be some kind of terrorism, and I was like,
That was
That's
my
sad.
first
and
thought.
I was
Sad,
like,
yeah.
and there's one of our frequent listeners, Bridget, was asking about like what's the difference between this and like a church in the South. As a house of worship, none.
Nothing, right.
Yeah.
That is the same tragedy. But as like
As the intention of destruction.
right, where are we going? But it's
Right.
it's the fact that it's the icon. It's like the Twin Towers. Like it is the
Oh, it's iconic.
Yeah, when you
they,
do-
they were talking
if-
today on TV about all the movies that
That
they
all you
use
do
it
is-
just like we use the Twin Towers for
Or the
movie
Empire
reference.
State
It's
Building.
always no. What did she do? I'm sorry to interrupt. This
No,
woman
no.
did this today, but it was so beautiful. She was from Francis. She said, when Woody Allen did Midnight in Paris, it's the first 5 minutes is just Notre Dame. She's
Yeah.
like, it's just the setting point.
and it gives and you don't need to put Paris.
Nope.
You just put
You just
Notre
know.
Dame.
And
or
I
the
didn't
Eiffel
know
Tower,
this
just
about
like the Empire-
Parisians,
yeah.
I guess, because they're the way they do streets and stuff, like do spider webs and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I
Arrondissements.
learned so much by just watching TV all day, but earlier today. But they said that people use it is like a point of reference in directions.
Oh, sure.
So you just say, 5 minutes this way from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
it's that enmeshed.
It's,
in
I
the
mean, but it's the
culture.
same way that the Twin Towers were back in the day. You'd
Yeah.
be like, do you need to go uptown or downtown? And you just look, there's the towers that's downtown. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
okay, the cab's going the wrong way. I'm
Yeah.
going uptown.
Right.
Like you would just look and you would see it. And like Renee's neighborhood when he lived there for the summer was just around. I think it's arrondissement, arrondissement, however you say
No,
that.
that's how you
Sure.
say it.
Yeah, and they just go out in like layers, like a ring of explosions from the center, and you're right there, and that was your focal point.
Yeah.
Start there, work around, and
Yeah.
but it's just lovely, and there's all the do not like agree with or endorse religion in any way, but I love to go to churches.
But
and,
it was
like, see
also a
them.
tourist.
No,
it
they're
wasn't
pretty-
just
No,
the
it had a
religion,
gift shop.
right? Yeah.
The shitty
Right.
thing though, the last time I was there was in July, and it was so motherfucking hot, and I was just pissed off at everybody for not having air conditioning. I'm like, you put a gift shop and bathrooms in this motherfucker. Air conditioning is easier than plumbing. Cool it down. So now I'm like, oh, they could probably put air conditioning in there now when they rebuild the ceiling.
Not gonna happen.
Oh, I bet you they will.
But it seems like they were saying that all the wood burned, but the stone is good. Like they
yeah,
can
the
remodel
facade is
it.
still there. The one rose window is still there.
Like, it wasn't as horrible as.
And they were remodeling, so a lot of the things had already been pulled out and saved.
I thought it was funny. Somebody commented, it was on Twitter that I saw it on, and now granted, I didn't verify the facts that this man was disputing, but I thought
it's
it was
on Twitter.
funny.
It must be true.
It's got to be true. One woman posts about how tragic, my God, but it's amazing that the gold cross stood and stayed there, but everything else burned. And the guy's like, wood burns at 600 degrees.
Right.
Gold melts at like
Right.
3,000 degrees.
Right.
Like there's a reason for
It's
it.
the same
not
argument with the
divine
stone.
intervention.
Rises, so the fire went up that way.
Yeah,
Right.
so
The ceiling burned. It's
I
not
just
the
get so
basement.
annoyed
No,
at all
you're
these
right.
people.
I
Like,
know.
oh, it's just a miracle.
I
And
know.
God
No, it's
intervened.
not.
No,
it's not a miracle, and no one intervened.
400 firefighters.
It's called science.
Fought to get that.
It's why the stones. It's the same thing about the stone. So people are like, it's gonna burn to the ground. It's
stone.
stone. It's not
Literally
burning.
stone.
The
It
wood's
may-
burning.
Right. It may topple. It
they
may
were
crumble.
concerned though that the belfries, because though made of stone, that all of the cross members up top that hold the bells and all would burn, and then all the bells would drop. Like they were
that
talking
wouldn't
about
be
all of
good.
that.
Yeah.
But no, they saved all that. They got all
that's
that.
good.
So, But I was also commenting. I get it. Architectural, all this, the history. I get all that. I love history of stuff.
I like
but
churches too. Well.
when you how many millions are we already out the people thrown at this, and it's like, but we don't give a shit about anybody who's hungry. We don't give a shit anybody else. All the other important things, we're gonna rebuild that.
Oh, but that's coming.
But
Did you know?
But they had to do that with the Twin Towers
Right.
too.
It's a national point of pride
It's
too.
yeah,
Like,
that-
the-
Guess what
the
else
French
I
are very
learned
proud of
today?
that.
That Salma Hayek is married to a billionaire. I didn't know that.
$113 million. Yeah. That did he
Sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy. Then there's $113 million when weighed in sugar.
And he pledged that for the Notre Dame.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, but again,
reconstruction.
I was like, you could do so much more with that.
Oh, I know.
You can, but it's also like when it's so like when you go to that city, like sure you could do some of that stuff, but it's just such a beautiful, beautiful city.
And I don't know, I mean, the Catholics are out of money defending all of the lawsuits against some fucking
Now
children.
it'll go to this.
Right, but this is owned by France. It's not owned by the Catholic Church.
But still, the Catholics.
They pay their rent, but it's not. That's why the Vatican was like, we'll give our designers, but it's not our building.
All right.
We're just renters. We didn't have renters insurance. Was
I
kind
love
of
being a renter.
was kind of their
Right.
message. But very, very sad.
Yeah.
Oh, we landed on Mayor Pete. Let's
The
talk
thing I
here.
wanted to talk about all night.
Was
Buttigieg.
I love him.
The Buttigieg kiss is the reason the church lit on fire?
God, that's right.
Sure. I
That's
knew the
exactly
second
We're
we
in
started,
agreement, right? Like
we were going to get blamed for it.
Selma's
the cathedral
vagina
is
didn't come cheap.
directly related
Sure
to Mayor
didn't,
Pete.
Jenny.
Happened at the same time.
I love
Look
him.
it up. It's
I meant
just
to
science.
message you more about this. I loved his announcement speech. I love him in every interview.
Yeah.
He's
His
so
interview, I watched
reasonable
the
and
interview with Rachel
thoughtful.
today.
Oh my God, was
Yeah, I did
that
too.
good?
Yeah.
That was very good.
He's just so like thoughtful and reasonable and
Knows what he knows and,
and
knows what he doesn't
I just
know.
want to see
No.
someone. I know it's coming. They keep saying, "Oh, he's going to get attacked on." I really want to see that because people are going to embarrass themselves.
Oh, of
attacking
course,
him.
yeah.
He's going to be like Teflon. What? So you're either going to go the homophobia route. That won't work. Like the right, the conservatives. I don't know what the Democrats are going to attack. They'll look stupid. It's this weird convergence. It's kind of like I was thinking about this, like the Schitt's Creek. We're in a new era. Like you know how the Schitt's Creek thing. It was like Schitt's Creek and Mayor Pete's campaign converging. They're doing the whole like the gay is secondary.
Yeah.
We're just not going there. Like neither is he. It was part of his speech, but it was very small. It's just now we've turned this weird corner where like that's not going to be the thing that we're talking
And
about.
I also love that
which
his,
I love.
that his back pocket. He's got he's got Rhodes Scholar,
I
he's got
know.
college, he's got all this stuff. He's
Military,
the military,
I
where
know.
he served proudly and was
I
honorably
know.
discharged. Like all of
and
that.
signed up because he
The
wanted
the
to.
retard in the
signed
in
up
the
because
house now
he met veterans.
got out on fucking bone spur lies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let him open his
There's nothing they can
stupid
hit him with at this
syphilitic
point that
mouth
I can
about that.
see that they can ding him on. I don't
I know.
see it.
I don't either.
They will. I mean, they will find a way.
But
know
I
they
don't
will.
know that it'll stick. What is there to?
I don't know.
What's going to
I mean,
land
the good
about
news
him?
is that he hasn't been around long enough to have fucked up and have that come back.
Yeah.
Unless you find out that he was an asshole on Twitter 7 years ago.
Right.
But I don't really see
But who
that
wasn't?
coming. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all.
All of his infractions are minor.
Yeah, but I don't. But
Yeah.
you never know. Like the way that we're standing in a circular firing squad.
Yeah.
And shooting
Oh,
each
the
other
attempts
down.
will be made, but
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll.
It'll be fun to watch.
Yep.
It will be
I'm
fun to
really
watch.
excited about him.
You have anything that you put it on there? Did you want to add something to it?
No.
Oh. It's not about Nazi.
I'm not anti, but
It's not
no.
about Nazi shoes, so you're not going to get on board.
I'm not stoked about it. I'm not excited either way.
All right.
Why are you not excited? That's interesting.
Too early?
Because he's just another white guy.
Oh, the white guy. We talked about that
Yeah,
last time.
it's the white guy thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, good.
But I think I
the,
get that.
The one that'll
I
make me
totally
the
get
most
it.
angry is if Beto does well.
Yeah.
That'll make me so angry because there's another white guy just failing up.
So here's the good news here.
Fuck
I think
this guy.
Mayor Pete just blew him. I think Beto O'Rourke will fall away now. He's
Maybe.
sucked up all of his oxygen.
Yeah, it's a long time
But
ago, and
since we're
there's
not
a lot
quite
to happen between now and then.
Utopia yet, maybe we need the white guy of Pete Buttigieg to get us one step further.
Yeah, but I mean,
Hillary Clinton was a white woman.
Yeah, I mean, it just to see like the first debate. I think I'll land
somewhere. Yeah,
land somewhere.
Yeah, and I haven't spent a lot of time watching announcement videos. I haven't spent a lot of time doing anything. I just on the very most superficial judgment of it.
I totally get it.
If we get a gay president, two things are going to happen. A, bridal registries are going to just be immaculate. One. Number two, everybody gets a toaster oven.
That's right.
Oh, then you definitely get.
I mean, my God, Black & Decker will be shipping shit right and left, making toaster ovens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still more in the.
There'll be some
the
great
Susan-
action in the Lincoln
Susan
bedrooms.
Harris created the Golden Girls. I can't think of her name. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I'm still more in
Susan
her
Harris.
camp. I like, but she hasn't gotten the press that he has.
Right.
So his press coverage has gotten a little like.
And
It'll dissipate, though.
arguably might not.
If she
because
comes out
she's
as
not a white man.
Right, but if she comes out as lesbian, black and lesbian,
she should come out as a white man.
Then she's got the trifecta of all the minorities.
Who is on before Rachel?
Chris Hayes.
Chris Hayes. They were having that conversation when they threw to her about the easiness of the white guy on TV.
Yep.
Like that they had there was a little blurb in there about that. It'll be interesting to see this first debate and see how it plays out. I'm waiting to see like who, because MSNBC, I don't know if you guys remember, it was one of the most, it's why I had to give up MSNBC for a little while. When Chris Hayes was yelling at the mayor of Detroit for not like being a Bernie Sanders supporter.
Yeah.
And he was like,
oh yeah, they
why
got
don't you
full
like
Bernie bro.
They went full
Chris
Bernie
Hayes
bro.
or Chris Matthews?
Chris Hayes.
The old guy. The old guy.
Chris
Because he
Hayes-
yells at everybody.
Chris Hayes was yelling at the mayor of Detroit for not being a bigger. He was like, "Well, I think Bernie's gonna save the day," and she's like, "He hasn't been here."
Right.
Like, and he started to yell at her that she wasn't singing Bernie's praises, and I'm like, "Okay, we got like this has just reached. He's not the Messiah. He's not the risen Jesus." But I know he's a millionaire, so.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, all the white guys. I'm not like singling out Pete Buttigieg. Like I got
Kamala
no kind of
Harris will
time
be
for
a
Bernie.
millionaire after this.
Joe Biden,
They all
I'm sorry, your
become
time has come
millionaires.
and
write a
go.
book.
Because people give them millions of dollars, so
Sure.
that doesn't fly.
But
with
yeah,
me.
but you don't get that personal money. It's the writing the book because
Yeah.
the whole
It's
thing.
But
the
that's
book
what I
deal-
mean.
it's the
They'll all
speaking-
be millionaires.
it's the
Blaming him
speaking
for being
fees
a
that makes you
millionaire,
money.
he has never been someone who
no.
sought out being a millionaire.
No, that's
not
bullshit. That's not what I meant at all
Okay,
by that
all right.
comment. That's not.
It
not
sounded
even
like
a little
it.
bit like what I
Okay.
meant by that.
All right, let's spin one more
Yeah, go
time.
ahead.
We'll see what
Go
we get out of this. Something different.
Forgot to put my theater chairs on there. They're lovely.
All right, Facebook for old people.
It's just a public
I
service
hope so.
announcement.
Yeah.
If you think you're not old, check how often you open Facebook. Listen, old people. It just is. Public service announcement.
Young people
You're
are all on
Oh, that's all that was?
Snapchat
Okay,
now.
It's a lot of Snapchats.
Well, then if
There's
that's
some
all that was, we're
Instagram.
one more
You know how I
time.
know? I ask my students, and they're like,
Not
"We're
a big
on
rant,
Facebook."
just a little, in case you were wondering.
Nope. We already did that one.
No whammies. No whammies. No whammies.
Nope.
You know, on Love It or Leave It, they don't actually spin it.
No, they just make the sound.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, real quick.
Okay.
Speaking of some feminist bullshit.
It's landed on. We're still a radio show. It's landed on Jon Snow's
claim to the throne, and the fact that Samuel Tarly done me in last week by going all Camp Jon Snow and saying that he has the more legitimate claim. The king has 3 children.
Yeah.
The daughter is still alive. Everyone else is dead. He had a brother. The brother has his 2 kids dead and a son.
Right.
So it's the nephew of the king that everyone is saying has a better shot at the throne because he's a boy. She is the direct successor. She is the only living heir to her father's crown.
Correct.
And so everyone is making this big dance over to a boy, and I'm like, bullshit.
But
Yeah.
if we're using a British approximation of succession,
Yes.
It wasn't until the current Queen Elizabeth
that
the succession changed to be
my
eldest children
and
not oldest living male.
You can imagine, like, I just have a problem with these old white guys writing these fantasy books. If you can write about dragons coming to life and warging and all these other fucking things, you can imagine a woman ruler.
But you know,
like,
old white guys can't.
Done. I know, but it's time.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna these fantastic worlds and all this different thing, a girl ruler can't be the furthest thing. Like, you can figure out a way to make her the queen. Like, just stop with the bullshit. Even though it's not from him because the books have not reached this point yet.
Right.
It's the two white guys running the show that are they're propagating something that's not even been written down yet. But it just annoyed me, because I kept getting confused. I'm like, but that's her father. Like, how can he be the heir when they keep saying you're not your father and he's the king? Like, what am I not getting? And it hit me today that I'm like, it's because she's a motherfucking girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these dumbass white guys are gonna like, you imagine dragons flying, dead dragons.
They have
coming
to
back
have
to
them
life.
fall in love and rule together in order to wrap this up, because they can't conceive of
a woman. Right. Even though the bitch in the South was getting it done, she'll kill anybody. She'll bring.
There
people
are
back to
times
life.
that I am Team Lannister, and I am not shy about it.
I'm team.
There's part of me that wants Cersei to win the whole motherfucking thing.
I want it. You get a dragon. You get a dragon. I want it to turn into.
I want
Oprah.
that bitch to have her elephants and her brother
and her
just
dragons.
whatever the fuck she wants.
Because she has put up with some shit. You know. What I'm saying?
She's had a hard year.
She has put up with some shit. But I like that show, except for that one little flaw. As soon as they got rid of the old white guy that wrote it and they went off on their own, it turned into all girl power.
It became Lady Central, right?
There is a queen in every kingdom without a man. Like, it's all unmarried women ruling the world, and it's like
it's basically a gay bar. Just queens in every corner.
The raping stopped. All the raping ended, and it just turned into girl power.
I appreciated that reference.
Thank you very much.
Jenny, that's a really good point. I was thinking about that the other day, about a transition.
Oh, it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah,
ugly. Bill Maher says it's not gonna happen. He's not gonna leave.
But I mean, like, the whole, like, welcoming the next. He was not going to do that.
No, none of it.
Well, how the Obamas did it with, you know,
they're going to strip the copper out of the building before they leave.
There will be a paperclip left in that building.
And it was kind of a harmless prank. But when when Gore didn't win, they took all the W's out of every keyboard in the White House.
That's cute.
All right, everybody, thank you for playing along with us in the chat room. If you were there, thank you for another week.
Great job.
Thank you all for being here on this. Next week, we are celebrating our 8th year anniversary of the show. So join us. Until then, we'll leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
I did not do the acid poop thing.
No, well, we'll do it next week.
We'll do it live.